You doubted me, but I saw too with my own eyes. There are only two holes. Whoa! 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 You doubted me, but I saw too with my own eyes. There are only two holes. Whoa! 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 You doubted me, but I saw too with my own eyes. There are only two holes. Whoa! 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 You doubted me, but I saw too with my own eyes. There are only two holes. Whoa! 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 You doubted me, but I saw too with my own eyes. There are only two holes. Whoa! 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 You doubted me, but I saw too with my own eyes. There are only two holes. Whoa! 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 You doubted me, but I saw too with my own eyes. There are only two holes. Whoa! 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 You doubted me, but I saw it too with my own eyes. There are only two holes. Whoa! 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 You doubted me, but I saw it too with my own eyes. There are only two holes. Whoa!
Whose words and cries of pain we will never hear, and yet to whom we are linked in a past that is never dead and never really past, and a future that never arrives but beckons us and keeps us going. And so history never ends, the last page is never written, and the best pages are written not by princes, presidents, prime ministers, popes, but by the people. For all their faults and shortcomings, the people are all we have. In fact, we are they. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Still not working? There we go. Hello! Whoa. Is that too loud? Hello. Thomas May, thank you for the membership subscription. 2 more memberships and I can add new emojis. I've got lots of cool emojis I want to add to YouTube chat. 2 more memberships. If we get to 10 memberships, we can do that. Hello, everyone. I got some fun stuff to talk about today. Oh boy, am I excited. Hey, what is a chemical mind stream without me messing something up in the opening, you know? It's a tradition. All right. So, some funny events have happened. As you may know, there is an individual who goes by the name Infrared, and he helped found a party with a bunch of other people called the American Communist Party. And this Infrared individual, he's very funny. He's like my favorite person on the internet, pretty much. And he was he's the chairman of this party, but apparently, basically, abuse allegations and allegations of like a cult have emerged. Better yet, on top of this, he is going to be streaming to defend himself from these allegations at 7 p.m. So we are going to do a live react to Infrared at 7 p.m. on Kick. Well, it might be a loading screen for a while, so it might be past 7 when it starts. I've been on his Kick once before. It was very funny and very interesting. So I'm excited to see how he defends himself. But yeah, first and foremost, here are the allegations. This Danny Shaw guy, 2 people resigned. Danny Shaw and John Malera resigned from the ACP with basically accusing Infrared of running a cult of personality. He released like 5 videos, and like 3 articles, so it's kind of confusing. But yeah, so basically, so this Danny Shaw guy, you know, he seems a bit naive, and he was basically drawn into this party, and kind of convinced to join, but he's, of course, come to realize that, Infrared is absolutely insane and disconnected from reality, and as he says, Infrared is a fraud, a coward, a liar, a sadist, a loose cannon, and a narcissist. He has used us all to try to make more money and to get more clicks and clout. He is completely adverse to working with others and to mentorship. To think that a streamer who lives on the 2nd floor of his parents' home could overnight become a leader of class struggles beyond delusional. Hold up. That's some new Infrared lore right there. New Infrared lore just dropped. He lives on the 2nd floor of his parents' home. Now, to be fair, there's nothing wrong with living with your parents, especially in this economy. That's not a problem. But I feel like Infrared is the exact kind of person who would make fun of other people for living with their parents. So that's interesting. So then he goes on, he says, let me unpack what the last few months in the ACP have looked like. He calls one of the guys the chief suck-up and a little bitch. So at the meeting, Haas started to brag about his connections with oligarchs in Russia. So this is where shit gets really weird. So apparently Infrared was trying to coordinate arms trafficking to paramilitary groups in Haiti. Okay, so now this is where he starts to. So basically, the way it's structured is that there's a board of directors or something, and on the board of directors, I believe, is like a bunch of people in Midwestern Marks, Jackson Hinkle, Infrared, and these guys are like the main leaders. So now he's going to talk about Midwestern Marks, members like Eddie, Noah, and Carlos. He calls Jackson Hinkle the chief LARPer himself, the anti-America, anti-patriot, culture war vulture, fake prima donna, bully, chauvinist Jackson Hinkle. You should come to NY2, you punk-ass bitch. This petty bourgeois poser in no way represents any of us or the proud, humble working class of this country. This anti-patriot cares more about his own ego. He spends more time with the Russian government than with the American people. His hunt for clout is always our mess to clean up. I mean, he's basically, every single thing he's saying about Jackson Hinkle is completely true. Holy crap. This article's insane, dude. I honestly like this Danny Shaw guy. I think he was naive, but he seems like a genuine dude. Let me address the coward himself directly. Ali Hamoud. I guess that's Infrared's real name. Was that public knowledge, or is he the first person to share that? Ali Hamoud, you are a dark, isolated, antisocial individual who does not want to work with others or see them as equals. You cowards, you broke all of our hearts with your complete incompetency and selfishness. These are not communists, they're not even men. If you'd like to read the article, go to Danny Shaw's Twitter page. Prof. Danny Shaw. Never again do you have to swallow Hinkle's anti-Semitic, Duganist, anti-women, ego-driven, billionaire-boosted bullshit. Never again do you have to pretend to look the other way because he defends and promotes the criminal misogynist Andrew Tate, chuckling as we all work our asses off. Never again will Pettis, Hamoud, or Garrido scream, "Wow, Garrido too?" Carlos Garrido uses the F word. Because Carlos Garrido is the guy in Midwestern Marx that likes to present himself as very put together and rational and like calm and stuff. Oh my god, there's an annoying ass infrared guy in the chat. Shut up. Where was I? Alright. Pettis. And yeah, I guess Kyle Pettis, that's another guy. Let me see who Kyle Pettis is. Pretty sure I know who that is. Nope, that's not it. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Who cares? The main names to know are Jackson, Hinkle, and Infrared, pretty much. And sort of Eddie Smith. I will organize in the courts and in the streets until you take responsibility for your disgraceful, disgusting, cult-reminiscent cowardice. We real Americans have nothing but love for you and would never lie to you. Okay. Wow. Interesting. So that's like one of 3 things he wrote. I don't know if the other things are also written by him. Okay, yeah, he released 3 different articles all at the same time. See, that's why I didn't read the whole article from beginning to end, because there's like a lot of reading stuff. We don't have the time for me to just read like 3 entire articles from beginning to end aloud. So yeah, this is like the chair. This is like the board of directors of, or whatever, the chair of the ACP. So for context about the ACP, more context. Something that not many people seem to know, which is pretty insane. The ACP website, the American Communist Party website, was registered by an individual named B. Gerber, who lives in Hartford, New York. I believe Visual Kinetic was this B. Gerber's previous company. B. Gerber, so B. Gerber is Ben Gerber. Ben Gerber was associated with something called Mitra, M-I-T-R-E. A company that is involved with various U.S. government agencies in the aviation, defense, healthcare, homeland security, and cybersecurity fields, among others. Mitra formed in 1958 as a military think tank. It was formed as part of the Cold War as a military think tank, and that is where the domain of the American Communist Party was founded. That's as good as a fucking checkmate as you're gonna get. But it gets even better. We're not done. Because guess where the location, I'm not sure if it was the domain or the company. I'll double check that. I believe it's the domain and the company. Guess where it was filed? Fairfax County, Virginia. Does anyone want to guess what city is in Fairfax County, Virginia, and what the headquarters of what organization is located in that city? Isn't Fairfax County Langley? Bingo! Do you know what is located in Langley? The CIA headquarters! This domain was registered in the county that the CIA headquarters is based in. So what this means is it's pretty obvious that the ACP is basically run by the CIA. Fetty Liger, that's actually brilliant. Oh my god. Kudos to you, my friend. I'm stealing that. That's amazing. Fetty Liger. For those who aren't aware, Eddie Liger is the leader of Midwestern Marks, which is associated with this party. So yeah, that's some very interesting context. So the ACP was just Black Hammer for white people. Black Hammer was like a cult led by an insane person, basically. Communist cult that wasn't actually communist at all. Oh, and then here's the nail in the coffin. Are you guys ready for the nail in the coffin? Jackson Hinkle was associated with... Wait, Jackson Hinkle was a Pelosi intern? I didn't know that. But he was also associated with Tulsi Gabbard, who was at the time a U.S. Army Domestic Psychological Operations Officer. In addition to this, she's given lectures, you know, to special operatives on how to spread and fight against disinformation. So, I mean, the connections are very, very interesting. There's a lot of interesting connections. It's pretty damning. And I want to see if Infrared would like to answer my questions about this. So when he goes live on Kick, I know he's going to try to scream me down if we ever talk, but I'm just going to try to just get in a couple questions about why the ACP website is registered in the same county that the CIA headquarters is located in, and why Jackson Hinkle happened to be associated with a psychological warfare expert, Tulsi Gabbard. I actually hadn't seen this pic before. I thought there was less evidence of their association than this, but no, he straight up was talking with her. Maybe this is more current, I'm not sure, but yeah, pretty insane. Pretty insane. I am so hyped for the Infrared stream. Anyways, by the way, guys, I set a new goal for today. We almost reached the Victoria 3 goal last time, but I had a better idea, even, potentially, is a community Hearts of Iron 4 game, for those who are into that. So if we reach the goal next Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Hearts of Iron 4, community game. $2 or more, and that contributes to the goal. You can also donate to the Streamlabs if you want to donate towards the Soviet mystery box opening as well. Whoa. Thank you, Gail, for the $1. Or the $2, I should say. Play the new order. If you give the highest dono, then it's locked in. We'll play the new order. And if the highest dono is vanilla, then we can do vanilla as well. I'm not a big fan of vanilla, but we can, if that's what people want. There's only been one dono yet, and it's only $2. Kaiserreich would be my pick. Kaiserreich's my favorite Hoi 4 mod. And by Hoi 4 mod, I mean it has to be like political, so it can't be like Old World Blues, which is an amazing mod, but it's not like... Kaiserreich or Kaiser Redux, which I think is even better than Kaiserreich. Wait, is Kick literally Twitch but with green and black instead of purple and black? Yeah, pretty much. It's extremely similar in design and all that. By the way, did you guys hear that thump? Because I put it on a noise gate on my mic, but I'm not sure if it's working. Let me try this. I lost interest in many Hoi mods because they just invoke horseshoe theory when it comes to the left. Kaiserreich doesn't really do that. I think the socialists in Kaiserreich are portrayed pretty positively generally. Shut up! Stop spamming the chat. Why did Kem ban a bunch of people? I did not ban a bunch of people. I banned like 2 people in the past 2 weeks. I asked Hinkle if he regretted the comments about the gay Nazi thing from Sneako's stream, and he basically said he doesn't regret telling the truth. I mean, yeah, Hinkle is completely mask off. He doesn't even try. He doesn't even try to pretend that he's not a Nazi, basically. Yeah, I get what you mean about the totalist faction. Hold on, be right back. Frank Merlino, thank you for the $5. It is funny how Jackson Hinkle and Infrared stole their whole shtick from Meme Lord Caleb Maupin, then gave him the middle finger. Yeah, Caleb Maupin's the GOAT, the original. He's still going, too. He's still going at it. Releasing videos like basically every day. Yeah, I mean, needle in a sandbag, I wouldn't really trust whatever Jackson Hinkle has to say. He's not exactly the most reliable person. What's up, Dry Ramen? I mean, the funny thing about Caleb Maupin is that he's politically, he's overall he's super cringe, but he's more genuine and less like right wing than Infrared or Jackson Hinkle are. I think that's probably the main reason they didn't want to associate with him. But Maupin definitely is a complete moron for sure. Cam, are you also on Kick? I am, but I don't stream on it yet. Anyways, before the infrared stream starts, let's look at a couple more of these. Frank Merlino, thank you for the $2. A brand spanking new video every day. Yeah, you could not torture me to watch one of these. Speaking of brand spanking new videos, for you guys that aren't aware, I also released a serious video that required actual, not being a stupid brain-rotted meme lord, and it required me actually reading a book. I actually read this book and recorded this video a long time ago, and I only just now released it. I read a book by Samantha Lom called Stalin's Constitution, and I made a video about it, as you can see here. I think it's extremely insightful in terms of understanding how the Soviet Union operated in the 1930s, and interesting in terms of learning about how democracy worked or didn't work in the Soviet Union. So yeah, go check that out if you want. And it's also, don't be surprised, it's not voiced by me, it's voiced by a community member who helped me because I have a lot of stuff going on. So, If you want me to play TNO, you gotta donate. Stop spamming the chat. So, yeah. I listened to this while in my car driving. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Though it is a video that I recommend that looking at could also be helpful because it has a bunch of screenshots of the book and interesting parts of the book. There's a lot of really interesting stuff in the book, so yeah. When infrared MPreg? I don't know what the fuck that means. Hello, Phil Frog. So this is another letter that the Danny Shaw guy, released. All right. So yeah. It's interesting how much time these people are spending in Russia. I don't know who Konstantinos is. What is two holes theory?
There are only two holes. Whoa! There are only two holes.
Basically, Infrared had a hour-long debate with this girl. This individual had an hour-long debate with this girl that women only have two holes.
Okay, then why wouldn't you trust me to be able to, I'd like to think I'm a competent gal. I'd like to think that when we hit the sad...
Because you're trying to put something in my butt, you know what I mean? Like,
dude,
there's an
I'm not immediately going to be like, all right, first date with Haas, let's go without the strappy lappy. No, we're gonna work up to it, dude. We'll start with anal beads.
No, that shit is not. But here's the thing, look, look, to be fair with you, I don't do that shit either. So both ways, it's not gonna happen. You know, to me, yeah, I'm only interested in 2 holes, not 3. You know.
3 holes? Oh, like your own.
Yeah, the third one is.
Dude. How many?
I'm not interested.
Wait,
in.
I have a question. How many holes does a woman have from the waist down?
2.
Okay, so what are those holes used for?
A lot of things. Like, what do you mean? What do you ask
Yeah,
me?
it's just a general, like, an easy, like, biological question. What are those 2 holes used for?
I mean, like, bathroom wise?
Yes.
Poop and pee?
Poop and pee. And then where's the
Yeah.
where's the sex one, dude?
The pee one. Okay.
Oh
your
my
point?
god. That's
What's
so
the joke?
cute. That's so fucking cute, dude. It's like, dude, you really never had a woman like.
What is going on? What, you pee from your butt?
Oh.
Or, I mean, technically, there's like the urethra or whatever,
You
but
were looking at chat.
No, I wasn't. I was looking at chat saying I was exposed and I lost. I know what you're talking about.
Shout out, hey, chat. Shout out to Infrared. He's streaming right now. Shout
Okay,
out to
wait.
the Infrared
Tell me
chat.
what I'm missing. What am I missing?
What are you missing?
Yeah, like, isn't the urethra
Dude, a whole
part
ass
of
hole.
Isn't
There's a
so you're
third
saying-
hole. There's 3 holes.
What's the third one?
Okay, so there's a pee hole. There's a
Yeah.
sexy sex birth canal.
There's a pee-pee?
And then there's
Yeah,
a
but
pee hole.
the pee-pee hole is part of the vaginal complex, right?
Why are you arguing with me?
The pee-pee hole is part of the vaginal complex, right? Oh man, this guy's the best dude on the internet.
Is it not?
It's
That's what I was
not.
told. I thought it was a part of it.
Bro, it's not.
I mean, it's not the same orifice, but like, you can't put your do people do that? I don't know. You can't put your pee-pee in that. So how is it a third hole? You know what I mean?
What?
Like, what do you mean? You know what? I'm a debater, so you really want to debate about this shit. By hole, I thought you were talking about.
You're
Where you
backtracking
can
so
put it.
hard. Oh my god.
I thought you were talking about where you can put
No,
it.
no,
That's
no,
why I
no.
mentioned the 3
No, no,
holes.
Haz.
Otherwise, why wouldn't I have
Haz,
mentioned ears, nostrils,
Haz.
belly
Because
button?
I
Those
said,
are all holes too.
here, let me
She said below the
reiterate
waist.
what the question was. How many holes does a girl have from the waist below? You said 2 holes. 1 for pooping and 1 for peeing and having sex in. You didn't mention a third
Because
hole
I said
at
because we
all.
were talking about the 3. Because we were talking about the 3 holes.
We were talking about the supposed 2 holes that you thought was below the belt of a
Okay,
woman.
fine. I'll take the L on this point. I really don't get it.
It's
I mean-
okay. There's a pee hole. It's
Yeah.
you know. Okay, so
Yeah, I know.
here.
I know.
Here's the pee hole. Here's the sex hole, and then here's the other sex hole. Okay,
Yeah.
and that's how it goes. I'm sorry, Haz. Which testicle is lower for you in your ball sack?
The right one.
So that means that you're gonna get ball cancer.
Okay.
Wait, Haz, I feel so
He's so sad. He's so depressed that he just got bodied about this.
bad. I feel so bad. Wait. Haz.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. What?
I'm just
I didn't say
playing.
anything.
I'm just
I'm just a
playing.
little bit confused. That's all.
Dude. Why are you confused?
I don't know why everyone's saying take the L. What am I taking the L on?
No, dude. Chat, be nice to Haz. He didn't
He is
take an L.
shook.
He just didn't know. Okay. I love you so
Like,
much. Haz. You're so cute.
Are people trying to imply that I thought pee comes out of the exact orifice that the PP goes in? Because that's not what I thought. It's just that
Okay. Yeah. We believe you.
yeah,
Okay.
like I always thought
Haz,
the urethra was part
take
of
this
the
W.
vaginal
Take this W.
Okay, I don't know biology. Is the urethra part?
This girl is hilarious, honestly.
of the vaginal complex or what? Is it like part of
The vaginal
So there's like a
complex.
tiny hole above
Yeah, I
the
know,
vagina.
but isn't that considered part of the
It's
entire
a hole.
thing?
Yeah, it's a hole.
But I know it's a hole, but isn't it considered?
He is like distressed. You can see the like pain on his face.
Part of the entire thing, like
No.
as an organ or whatever.
Wait, I'm so confused.
As an organ, isn't it? So it's completely different. It's completely separate.
Wait, are you implying that buttholes, vagina holes, and urethra
no,
holes
just
are
just
organs?
no, just the vagina and the urethra. I thought they're part of like the same.
No, they're two different holes.
No, I know they're two different holes, but I thought they're part of like. I don't know.
You're
I've
saying
actually never watched this far. I've stopped before getting this far. It just gets funnier and funnier.
no, Haz. We could just drop it. Take this W. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, he's so depressed. He's so depressed.
You are
got-
such a
you guys-
sub, dude.
No, I mean, okay, you guys caught me, guys. Okay, I'm gonna confess the truth. I'm a virgin. I've never seen a vagina. I didn't know that
Oh my gosh.
that
I'm
I
sorry.
actually thought that, like, for example, like sometimes I was having sex and I was scared she was gonna pee,
Okay.
like
I'm
I was
sorry,
gonna like
Haz.
touch pee with my pee pee. You know, I really didn't know, guys. I really didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Haz, are you enjoying your
Mm-hmm.
time on the show?
I mean, after I got exposed as like someone who didn't know that the urethra existed, I feel really ashamed. You know, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I really feel bad now.
It's okay, Haz. You know,
Yeah.
you're just you just learned a little bit later than everyone else, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
You know, maybe
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know a fact that you know. You know?
no, I mean, it seems like you know everything. You know, like
No,
for
Haz,
example, like
Haz.
you knew what I was trying to say.
Haz.
Like you knew, for example, that like I didn't know that there was a urethra, right?
Yeah,
So,
Haz.
like, it seems like you know everything.
You are so
Yeah.
cute.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this comes way more naturally to you than being a dommy control boy, you know?
What comes natural to me?
Being a
This is so
subby wubby,
funny.
okay?
I'm not sure why you're assuming that, but
Because you're so much cuter.
He's just been broken. He has been completely broken by this girl. This is incredible.
Like this.
like what?
Wait,
Okay,
wait.
hold on. You know what?
Okay.
It's not you that's pissing me off.
Uh-huh.
It's my stupid fucking chat. Chat, you are literally fucking stupid. If you think I didn't know that pee comes out of the urethra, you are fucking stupid. Every fucking chance you get
Dude, he's
to make it seem like I'm a
backtracking
virgin
so
like
hard.
you fucking hop on it because you think I'm like you. You understand? That's what's pissing me off. That's what's pissing me off.
Haz. You're okay.
Alpha male gets dominated by e-girl.
I'm not. You know, chat likes to troll their streamers, you know? But at the end of the day, look at how many subby wubbies you have. See? Look at all those subby wubbies talking. That means they love you.
Bruh.
That means they
Okay,
love you, okay?
I mean, look, I have a lot of haters and a lot of people who are jealous of me, okay?
It's true. It's because you're an alpha
And-
Chad, dude.
But the thing is that, you know, look,
Comrades of the
so I
American
just wanna ask you
Communist Party.
Here he is. He's live. Here we go. Infrared's live.
I come to you tonight with some regrettable news that I am sure you have already been exposed to by now, which pertains to the treachery and betrayal of two former members of the American Communist Party Politburo. Pursuant to elucidating and explaining and clarifying the laws and protocols established by our party constitution, namely in this case, Article 8, Section 6, which prohibits the unauthorized use of communications and forces all matters pertaining to party business and affairs to confine themselves to the appropriate channels of communication. I'd like to issue a clarification. In this extraordinary circumstance, in which two former members of our party and our Politburo have decided to illegally, and in the case of the law, not just in the case of our party constitution law, but even in the case of U.S. law, which is funny because one of them seems to be interested in throwing stones in glass houses as it pertains to that. But pursuant to acting in conformity with the laws of our party, I'd like to take note of the extraordinary and exceptional circumstances. There has been a breach in our security and our protocols of internal communication in which a one-sided picture of events, in addition, just outright lies that have no basis in reality whatsoever, and we'll get to that, don't worry, has been communicated to the general public. It is now incumbent upon me, and I am tasked to, on behalf of the Executive Board of the American Communist Party, communicate to the public in a similar capacity about the full story, the context and the details and the facts that Danny Shaw and John Mullera are leaving out. I've been entrusted by the Executive Board of the American Communist Party to deliver these facts and this story outside of party official communications. And the reason is very simple. We're not going to demean and insult the integrity of our party by responding to these petty individuals and their individual gibberish. Our party will not lower itself to the status of taking seriously the defections of a few individuals who lack the manhood and discipline to commit to the principle, the basic principle of collective organization that is the foundation of Marxism-Leninism everywhere and anywhere that it has been applied throughout world history. Instead, I will take this opportunity to calmly respond to the various accusations and claims they have made, specifically about my person, in a more informal capacity on my stream, the infrared stream. They have decided to go outside of the party and to the general public, and I will do the exact same thing. And to be clear, before we get into anything, there is nothing I have done in the service of the American Communist Party that I am ashamed to disclose fully to the public. There is nothing about my person or about my character that I am ashamed of disclosing fully to the public. Why certain information has been concealed and not given to the public completely is because the public, in the heat of the moment, cannot be given the full story immediately. It's easy to present a one-sided depiction of facts and a few clips taken out of context than to actually force the general public to commit to the time of actually understanding the full breadth and the full story, the full breadth of events and all their rational integrity and their succession. That takes time. That takes hours. It doesn't take the few seconds that a tweet does. And by the way, because one of the fundamental forms of reasoning that's being used to accuse the party and myself of being a cult and me being a cult leader is that we have these constitutionally established protocols of information and operational security. They are standard procedure for any communist party in history. They're even standard procedure for a lot of corporations. Absolutely, among leadership, you are not supposed to leak discussions. You're not supposed to run to the public or even run to the rank and file for that matter. You're supposed to keep it internal. That's exactly how every party in history has operated. So to say that we're a cult for that is just ridiculous. By the way, this is something that was established in our Constitution, which I'm going to remind you throughout this video. Danny Shaw and John Malera, without having any gun pointed at their head, decided to ratify themselves as at our convention. So if we were a cult for having these procedures of how information is organized and controlled, why did they not take issue with it at the convention? Why did they not raise even a single muttering, a single thing, then and there? Why are they doing it now? Well, stay tuned and you're going to get the full story, and hopefully things will maybe make a little more sense to you with respect to what their actual motivations are.
Man, all I know is that the ACP has a ton of connections to the CIA and the federal government. So,
Since the very founding of the party itself. What they have yet to explain and justify is exactly why they've decided to do this now. Well, you need more facts. You need more information. That's what I'm here to provide and to give you. So,
yeah, Danny Shaw was like the one guy who lent any real legitimacy to this organization, I feel like. But with him gone, it's like there's not really much left for them to pretend that they're in any way like legitimate or a real workers' party or anything like that.
Families. And I've concealed my name to protect my family. But my real name, which by the way is not Ali, it's Ali. Named after Ali ibn Abi Talib, Imam Ali. I'm not ashamed of that name. I've lived my entire life trying to live up to the honor and the respect that is attached to that name. And if I haven't identified that way to the public all these years, it's because I do understand I'm an incredibly imperfect individual. And I'm nothing like the real Ali. I don't hold a candle to him. But I'm ashamed of that name? Absolutely not. That's always been my name. My name is Haz al-Din. That's the name you've known me by. But the name that my father gave me is Ali. And I am not ashamed of that name at all. And I am regarding the doxing attempts by Danny Shaw and John Malera not as an attack on me, but as an attack on my family. And there's simply no other way to cut it or put it. Now, let's get down to business.
I mean, you shouldn't have been an abusive cult leader. I don't know what to say.
I'm going to address this in the order of the gravity of the accusations being made, specifically from the perspective of U.S. law. And that is the reason I'm going to begin with Mr. Danny Shaw, or like he goes to call himself, Professor Danny Shaw. Now, I otherwise would not begin in this order because Danny Shaw is not a person that is worth taking seriously at the level of the merits of his character or his personality. And you're going to discover this very quickly when you get the whole story about who Danny Shaw is and what his conduct within our party has been for the months that he has been with us. The reason I'm beginning with Danny Shaw is because this ridiculous character and this idiot randomly decided out of nowhere to make up a really dangerous accusation. What's the reason for this accusation? I'm just going to lay it on the table for you right now. In all likelihood, the reason Danny Shaw is making this outlandish, stupid claim for which there is zero evidence, and there will never be any evidence because it has no basis in reality, is because he is being compelled to create the public pretext for a federal investigation. A pretext, by the way, federal agencies haven't had. If you don't know about U.S. law, the law doesn't work like how people on the internet try to tell you, that they just do whatever they want without any procedures. If they are tapping your phones and tapping all of your stuff, only the DHS really has the ability to do that, and it's not admissible in court without sufficient grounds for an actual legal federal investigation.
How the fuck does any of this have to do with an investigation? Danny said he was gonna pursue in court, but that's not like the federal government. If it's a civil case, which it probably would be, if he pursues a civil case against ACP, the government is not going to be involved. If it was a criminal case, that would be different, but that's handled by the government. Anyways.
Is going to bear no fruit because I am completely innocent of the charge. I am not guilty of interfering in any way in Haiti's affairs. I've done nothing. He claims that we were making plans to run guns through Haiti. Please, provide the evidence, Danny, because you've just made an actionable claim, which you're going to be held accountable for legally. And I'm going to make sure of that if it's the last thing I do. Give us the evidence and show us the evidence.
I really, really doubt Danny Shaw would have said something like that without, like, real evidence for it.
Sit down, relax, crack open a can of Diet Coke or something, whatever you're drinking, and let me explain to you the curious case of Professor Danny Shaw. Now, years before I had ever known Danny Shaw, Danny was a guy who was very interested in Haiti. He would always go to Haiti because he wants to be this, third world reporter. I don't know, whatever. I don't care. He's not a person who particularly interests me, right? But in any case, while he was in Haiti, he was desperately trying to, link up with Kim Ives and Dan Cohen, who were there on the ground and in their journalistic capacity reporting on it with all the right connections and whatever. And Danny felt like he was not being given recognition by Kim Ives and Dan Cohen. He felt that they were not giving him opportunities to talk with leaders in Haiti and that they were kind of brushing him, they were brushing him to the side. He felt discarded. He felt like he wasn't being recognized. And that created a years-long, very personal, extremely personal, and extremely petty conflict between Danny Shaw and Dan Cohen. Now, Dan Cohen and Kim Ives, I'm sure, will testify to all of this. The nature of Danny's problem with them has always been personal. It has nothing to do with politics, and it has nothing to do with their disagreements about what the situation in Haiti is. As a matter of fact, Danny was on the same page as they were as far as their appraisement and assessment of the situation until the personal beef happened. And then Danny decided to completely say that they had the wrong position on Haiti.
All right, who gives a shit? Let's see what the other guy who resigned said about the ACP. From what I saw, this one was kind of a more boring resignation, where it's just like they kind of suck. So basically, it's just that his main complaint is that Hawes is a completely incompetent idiot, which is not surprising. I mean, this is a pretty eloquent, well-written letter. I'm not gonna lie, for someone who's for some reason was involved in fucking this organization in the first place. Cool. Back to infrared.
And every time I talked to him on the phone or when he was in meetings with us, he couldn't rationally present his arguments in a way that was convincing to us. It really seemed like the basis of his position was just personal pettiness. We were all convinced of that, okay? That was a huge factor here. But still, we didn't know the facts. So, the executive board deliberated and we said, look, we want to know the facts. We want a fact-finding mission, not to send people to Haiti, but to give Danny Shaw the opportunity to confront Dan Cohen and Kim Ives about what they're lying about. Because all Danny would do is write articles. They're liars! They're liars! Fine. We want to know what they're lying about. We want to know who's correct and who's giving an accurate picture of what's going on in Haiti. So we decided to organize in private a meeting. Dan Cohen, Kim Ives, Danny Shaw, me, and Kyle. Kyle was coming from the executive board. So was I, but Kyle wanted to be there as well. Okay? So this meeting, it's funny because I really don't know if Danny Shaw even has the legal pretext to release that meeting. Or anything for that matter. That's the other thing. We're not going to get into that. But I'm very curious to see if he's going to release that meeting. In full, by the way. Because that's the meeting, by the way, where he accused me of plotting to run guns to Haiti. I think that if he released that meeting, something I would not condone, by the way, legally, but if he were to release that meeting, you would see exactly, not only that he's a liar, that's a given, but what has been eating away at Danny Shaw's brain, if he has a brain. You would see exactly why he felt compelled to go down this path. Because Kyle and I were desperately throwing Danny bones and saying, Danny, they just gave us the following facts about, because Danny, for example, would say that barbecue burned down this neighborhood for no reason. And then Dan and Kim Ives would be like, actually, this was a police neighborhood with all these corrupt people engaging in crimes, and they were already in a war, and the police gang allied with some other ruthless...
It's crazy to me that he's been streaming on Twitch all this time, and the alert still just comes up right over his face. And also the alert music that plays, where it's like bum, 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 is really loud, so it interrupts what he's saying. This dude's been streaming on this platform for years at this point.
Danny wouldn't push back. Danny rolled over and fully... I'm not saying there was a debate and he lost the debate. That would at least be understandable. But why I basically lost all respect for Danny Shaw on a personal level after that meeting is because... for as much as he's yelling and shouting about Dan Cohen and Kim Ives elsewhere, he was as quiet as a mouse. He had his head down. He would kind of whisper into the mic wherever called upon to talk by me and Kyle. And he was not standing on business. He wasn't saying anything. He wasn't doing anything. He was conceding to every single thing they were saying. And he was compelled to be backed into a corner and just be like, he couldn't even justify himself, all right? He was humiliated. We didn't want to humiliate him. We kept giving him opportunities to defend his position and respond because this was a fact-finding mission. It wasn't a plot. We weren't here to plot about how the American Communist Party is going to take over Haiti, all right? We were here to get facts about what's going on in Haiti. And Danny had a perspective, and Dan Cohen and Kim Ives had a perspective. And Danny fully submitted and acquiesced to Dan Cohen and Kim Ives. His complete arch nemesis on a personal level, okay? So that is exactly kind of what started things, okay? That is exactly what kind of started Danny's...
I have no idea what any of this shit is. Basically, the context is that a couple of high-ranking members released documents saying that Infrared, or the American Communist Party, is a cult, and that Infrared is the cult leader, and that he's, like, basically just completely incompetent and disrespectful and insane.
If he ever releases the meeting where he has his head down, Circuit, thank you, and I'll thank everyone when this is over, so thank you guys, I appreciate it. You're going to see that at that moment he decided, he was like, man, fuck this, I'm gonna wreck this shit. Like, he got exposed as a liar, and at that was the precise moment that he decided that he's gonna plot on our downfall. That's what a petty, vindictive type of person that he is, okay? And, so that's Danny Shaw, okay? And I could never take Danny Shaw seriously because every time we were with him in person, every single time, Danny Shaw is smiling and not talking a lot, and when he is talking, he's being very nice and friendly, and you would never know that this guy had a problem with me or anyone else. I had no idea this guy had a problem with me. But I want to tell you something. I'm all over the place, and we're not even getting started with Danny. I'm just giving you a kind of introduction. I just find one thing a little bit funny, which is that Danny is a full... He's about 6'8", so he is a full foot taller than me. He is also, I think, in his 40s, so he's nearly twice my age. And he's trying to paint himself as a victim of grooming, that I somehow groomed him and psychologically got in his head and compelled him. And
that is kind of funny. I mean, like, how is like a 40-something-year-old guy are you, like, being, like, tricked by Infrared of all people, you know?
Others did and knew him better than I did. Danny Shaw was never really someone... I mean, how could I... First of all, see, people are laughing because they were there at the convention. They know how big this guy is, and it's just kind of fucking stupid, all right? But yeah, he's claiming that I, like, groomed him, and I...
You're fully committed to the idea that Infrared was running guns through Haiti. Yeah, I mean, it sounds exactly like some Infrared thing to say, even if it's not serious. It sounds like exactly the kind of thing they'd say, you know? Like, let's give guns to some, like, pro-Infrared faction in Haiti, and we can, like, take over Haiti. Oh my god. It sounds exactly like something Hawes would cook up.
So much psychobabble, so many generalizations, so little concrete particular facts and details. There's a reason for that, because he's full of shit. Anytime somebody's just making psychological generalizations, but not actually backing them up with anything, it's because they have been cornered, they have nothing, and they're coping, basically, about their own inability to actually be an adult and stand on business. And if you have a problem, just fucking communicate it. You know, he wouldn't do that. Okay, so that's just on his character, which I could not take seriously because of that. Just that alone, all right? Now, with respect to what he's claiming about Haiti, that I'm running guns to Haiti, the reason I think he's saying that is because during the meeting with Dan Cohen and Kim Ives, because it was a fact-finding mission, one of the jobs of Kyle and I, we wanted to know the geopolitics of Haiti. Because during the time of the invasion, Russia and China had vetoed the UN Security Council on a resolution to send some kind of army to intervene in Haiti to deal with the situation. So all I did, I'm going to repeat myself, and they will confirm this, by the way, and I hope the FBI or whoever has the Zoom meeting and whatever. Because you will see that all I said all I did was ask, basically, in so many words, all I did was ask, hey, what do Russia and China think about this guy, barbecue? Like, do they have a position on Haiti right now? Because they did that thing at the UN Security Council. So, like, what is their... And I was even very careful about the way I asked that question.
Jesus Christ, his mic, I know. Oh, man. It's so funny.
Incredibly legal and innocent question. I don't know how you go from there to making this claim that we're plotting to run guns to Haiti. I don't know how you make that leap. I don't know what the point. That's why I'm saying that I think the reason he made that incredibly drastic leap in reasoning and inference is because he has been tasked and compelled with the job of creating a public pretext for a federal investigation, which there is literally none right now. Okay? He has publicly made an accusation that is accusing me of a crime, basically, right? And that is something the federal agencies and authorities have to take seriously. So now there is a public pretext for a federal investigation, and there wasn't that there before, okay? By the way, the meeting happened November 1st. So this happened early November. And Danny, this principled person,
Kyle,
revealed
get
no
Russia,
intention to
China.
anyone that he would ever take things this far because of... Danny
Oh my god.
told the entire Politburo
I know the
that
mental image
he
of that.
acquiesces to the outcome.
Oh my
And,
god.
let's keep on... let's keep on rolling, comrades. Let's keep on rolling. Let's keep on going, comrades. We can do it. Like, you have to understand what a snake this guy is. He did not a peep before late December about anything. Not a peep.
Yeah, maybe
Okay?
because he didn't want to. Maybe because he didn't want to say anything to you.
All right,
so
there's
you
also
could
some
shut
other
him down
interesting accusations he makes toward
completely
me.
Shut down.
Danny is pretending like that
he-
because he came to the Dearborn conference.
No shit that he wouldn't say anything to you. He doesn't want you to shut him up. He wanted to get ahead of this. He wanted you to not be able to prepare some response.
Now, Danny has never been to where I live. He's never been to my house, by the way. I don't live with my parents, but he doesn't know anything about where I live or anything like that. Okay?
He definitely.
Why
lives
did
with
he
his
make this
parents.
claim?
Let's be
I want
honest.
you guys to infer. Why did he make
He
this
definitely
claim?
lives with his parents.
Is it possibly because he's trying to threaten my family? Because if I did live with my family, which I don't, by the way, anyone who would want to come after me would just go after them. So why would he make that up, that I live on the second floor of my parents' home? What was the point of that? Well, the point is because he's trying to target my family. By the way, what's the point of even talking about my name, if not to target my family? I have nothing to be ashamed of, but my name is incredibly common, by the way. But look, I struggle to take it seriously. Not seriously. I struggle to take it personally. The reason I struggle to take it personally is because I'm not convinced Danny Shaw is acting alone. I'm not convinced that Danny Shaw is doing this because on a personal level, I think he's being compelled to do it, and it goes much deeper. Okay?
This guy definitely
And
runs guns
with
to
respect to
Haiti and
Danny
his
Shaw,
parents.
there's only so much speculation we can engage in. When we start talking about John, I think we'll have a clearer picture about maybe what's going on. But with respect to Danny Shaw, the extent of wherever he's coming from, we can only speculate, but I am inclined to believe for a number of reasons. Because of how sudden it was and how irrational it is, and, what the doxing and all this kind of these crazy claims he's making about running guns, I'm inclined to believe that Danny's not acting in a personal capacity and that he is being potentially compelled to do this. But yeah. So Danny, look, he made a lot of other claims. I'm just telling you them in the order that I remember them. He claimed that while I was in Russia, I was lying about being shelled by HIMARS when I was in Donetsk. And the reason he's claiming this is because a journalist named something Sweeney, okay, who wasn't there, made the claim that, a strike wasn't reported. No, he's right. The strike was not actually reported to the media. Do the math, okay? There was a strike. It wasn't reported to the media. That's true. But it was 300 meters from our hotel, according to the people that we were with. That's how far away it was. And there were casualties. Now, I implore everyone...
Okay. Infrared frames it as him being, he said, under fire from HIMARS. A missile, if it hit you, if there actually was a missile 300 meters away from you is not, to me it doesn't sound like that's under fire from missiles. That sounds like a bit of padding of the actual situation.
300 meters from our hotel. And another thing, besides the fact that we actually have footage of it, that I could say is that, look, I don't need to spend a lot of time on this because John is in DD Geopolitics. There were 2 members of DD Geopolitics, one Serbian, one Slovenian, who were on our press tour in Donetsk and in Donbass. They were with me at that hotel.
Also, what the fuck do you expect is gonna happen when you go to a war zone? No shit. It's not impressive either to be near missiles striking when you literally go to a war zone.
Give me a moment. Well, I know Mario. Ask him. I even appeared on his show, on his YouTube show. Ask them if it was a lie or not, or if it happened or not. Ask them, okay? Borut, yes, Mario and Borut. Okay, ask them if I'm lying about what happened. And the, regarding the number of casualties, I think I said 6 were killed, 30 were wounded. That was a mistake on my part, okay? Because I was searching for public information to find the precise number of casualties because it wasn't known by the people there. And those were casualties from somewhere else the same day. But there were casualties. It's just that the number was not precise that I gave. But I wasn't lying about what happened, okay? So that's why there was confusion about what happened there. Thank you, Anonymous. Okay, so that's...
What's going on with the ACP now? 2 high-profile members of the ACP resigned, calling Infrared a cult leader, and saying that the whole organization is very poorly run, basically.
Calls me a fraud, a coward, a liar, a sadist, a loose cannon, a narcissist. Based on what? Kind of just sounds like your opinion, dude. He has...
I mean, based on all of the examples he cited of you screaming at other people, of you not letting other people talk, of you calling people slurs all the time, of you messing up the ratification of the Constitution or whatever, he offered plenty of specific examples of those things. Be right back.
I've been struggling financially, believe it or not. Okay, so that's just total nonsense. He's completely adverse to working with others into membership. I think that's what he means. I am the chairman of the executive board of the American Communist Party. I am talking to the executive board every hour minimum of every fucking day that I'm awake, okay? To say this is baffling, all right? I'm not working that closely with him. He's not even my deputy. By the way, if you need to understand how our party's structured, thank you, Yellowstone. It's all in our Constitution, which apparently doesn't matter anymore because they disagreed with how it was drafted, and yet they raised no concerns or issues about how it was drafted. Thanks, Talon. Like, at the time of, at all. But in any case, I've just been doing my job as enumerated within the Constitution, all right? Which is to work very closely with the executive board and my deputies. Danny Shaw was not my deputy, all right? He was a deputy, I believe, of Chris and not me, okay? That's why I wasn't working very closely with him, except on matters that actually were relevant, like the Haiti thing, you know, where there was a contention that we had to discuss. And by the way, look, I am not somebody who just like makes decisions and says screw you, you know, all that often. I am somebody who tries to make sure we're all on the same page. So I sensed there was tension about the Haiti thing. Turbo, appreciate it. I sensed, by the way, the Haiti thing, if you don't know, has nothing to do with arms smuggling, but a dispute about the facts of what's going on the ground that was between Danny and Dan Cohen and Kim Ives. And me, for that matter, because I was more convinced by them than Danny. And if you ever watched that meeting we had, you would understand exactly why. For Robbie, appreciate you. All right. I don't know what to say as far as, you know. Wow, thank you guys so much. Yeah, look, I don't know what to say when it comes to this nonsense about I'm not a team player or whatever. It's just complete nonsense, all right? I have to work very closely with 7 other people every minute of every fucking day, all right? It's just nonsense. Blackpack, wow, Oz, appreciate you. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Why didn't Haas just disable his chat in this serious response to allegations? I know. It's like, guys, I promise my everything is not a cult, you know? Meanwhile, he's got, like, his chat, like, going full speed, like, spamming the same exact emoticons. There's like 8 guys total in the chat, just endlessly spamming for, like, an hour straight the same emoticon to make it seem like there's like thousands of people supporting him. It's like that scene in One Piece where like they're hiding behind the mountains or whatever and they're waving, it's like 10 guys waving flags, but they're like, they have like these machines and they're holding like 4 flags each to make it seem like their numbers are much bigger than they are. It's hilarious.
I was sat on a throne where the 2 were elevated high above them. I don't even know if I look stupid by responding.
His Fed freaking handlers sure are giving him a lot of money.
There was no throne. There was a living room. I don't even know if I was sitting on a single chair. I think I was sitting on a couch. I don't remember. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what this throne was. Living room, okay, where we had the TV in front of us and we were working on the Constitution. Well, I'll get to that in John's, by the way.
Lysenko Med School.
Okay.
Come on, guys. Where's my Fed handlers at? Where's my gifted subs and memberships? Pick it up. Where's the 10 people in my chat spamming the same exact emoticon 800 times?
About their contacts with oligarchs in Russia. Again, I don't know what the point of making up these lies is, except.
So it's basically a complete he said, she said situation until Danny Shaw releases more proof or not, but I'm extremely inclined not to trust Infrared in any way, shape, or form. It's clear he does have connections with oligarchs, just like Jackson Hinkle does. Yeah, you know, I'm really not inclined to trust this guy.
Him, who's 6'8", you should have said something instead of acting like a coward. You shut your mouth and you were completely silent the entire time. You didn't even raise a peep. You didn't even raise a muttering, a semblance of a concern that you didn't like that I was sitting on a grand throne. I don't even know where you're getting that from. But even if it was true, I don't know like where that's coming from. I don't know why you didn't say anything then. Okay, November 1st, this is really where his
He openly says, Infrared, that you and your other cultist members would silence people below you who tried to talk or tried to say any criticisms or anything. So no shit.
You could have told them. You could have told us. See, look, you need more context. Danny was feeding Kyle and the rest of the Midwestern Marks crew a lot of like slop about Haiti. And like a lot of bullshit basically. And they were believing it because he's their friend, and why wouldn't
Name an example of slop or bullshit about Haiti. You don't have a single fucking example.
And Kyle was there during the meeting and saw how all these other facts Danny was leaving out that Kim Ives and Dan were giving us. And Kyle actually got visibly pissed because he was just like, Danny, what the fuck is wrong with you? He was even getting more aggravated and pissed by the fact that Danny wasn't speaking up and standing on business and actually like explaining himself or pushing back on anything Kim Ives and Dan Cohen were saying. So Kyle's there with his cigarette and he's just like fucking very frustrated because he had been taken for a ride by Danny Shaw and his lies for a long time. Okay? So that's the issue, all right?
He hasn't provided a single example of how Danny is wrong about Haiti or anything like that.
Again, we can only speculate. He made the claim that we were talking about coordinating arms trafficking. What the fuck is he with sketchy foreign actors and oligarchs to paramilitary factions?
I would not be surprised if they genuinely...
If you're shocked by that, I'm shocked by it because I don't know where the fuck it comes from. I don't know where the fuck that comes from either, okay? So you tell me where that comes from. Dan was shocked when he read that. He reached out to me. I'm sure Kim Ives is shocked. We don't know what that is. I am broke. I make $5,000 a month if I'm lucky. These days, it's about 3 to 4. So I don't know how I have the resources to do what he's claiming I'm planning or whatever. I promise you I would sooner buy myself a yacht than go to Haiti.
Even if he's only making $5,000 a month, that's $60,000 a year, right? Like that's a pretty fucking good income, dude. That's a really fucking good income if you don't live in like a city. Like that's a solid ass income. That's better than 95% of the rest of the world. And I'm sure he probably gets paid more than that by his handlers.
Into the mic. What do you mean you raised every objection? I'm going to try to stay calm, all right? They laughed at me and the PSL who are liberals and humanitarians like me and cared about the masses. So this is what the context was. He's about this stuff regarding the masses, okay? Every time we were trying to talk about what was going on in Haiti, Danny...
$5,000 a month is about 20 times what I make from YouTube a month. 30 times. I'm not even... A lot more. Like, he should not be complaining at all.
Mediation.
That's
or without
insane.
any mediation through leadership. So what do you mean the masses? He was like, the masses, man! And we were like, yeah, but who? Everyone. It's like, if it's okay, what do you mean by everyone? So it turns out this was why Kyle got pissed. He was referring to this collective in Haiti of these people that are like, I don't know, they call themselves Marxists or leftists or something. And he was referring to them. And he was claiming that was the Haitian masses. I'm just Molagef. Yeah, something like that. I'm picturing Kyle's face right now because Dan.
I wanted Eddie, Noah, and Carlos to balance out Haas, but they really did just supplicate themselves to his personality and basically poison the well for making normal people excited to organize. Well, Noah is this very strange and almost unstable seeming guy. Carlos is kind of just a total bigot and right-winger. And Eddie is just kind of like a total like simp, like subby wubby guy who will just, I don't know what is up with Eddie. I mean, I don't know if it's his account or the Midwestern Marks account liked Nazi propaganda on their Twitter. So, yeah. To those who are interested in what's going on, Needle in a Sandbag just put a post explaining it.
Danny was humiliated and embarrassed when those facts were revealed. And what else can I say? He says I have zero experience as a leader. That's not wrong. As a leader of a party, I have zero experience. I'm not denying that. I am just trying to do my best in terms of following the fucking rules and following the Constitution and the powers enumerated within that Constitution to me. I'm not claiming I'm a great leader and I'm perfect and I know, you know, I have all this experience. I'm 28 years old, he's right. But we need to be precise with critiques. If you want to make a critique of me, make it concrete. Don't make these vague generalizations about, oh, he's a cult leader, he's this or he's that. Back that up with something specific. And it's a common theme you're going to get throughout this entire stream where I explain to you what happened, that they don't do that, all right? They weren't doing that at all. Not only like in the months in the lead up, but beginning, I think this all started in late December. They weren't being upfront about anything. They kept making claims about me. Haas needs to resign. We need to throw the Constitution away. The Constitution is garbage. It doesn't matter. We need to throw it away. Haas needs to be overthrown. We need to get rid of Haas. Sure, but like why? And every time they were called upon, well, because he needs to be held accountable because he's a cult leader. Okay, why is he a cult leader? Why does he need to be held accountable? Well. And as soon as you would ask them, they'd be like, ugh, and then they would say nothing, and then they would plot behind the scenes about how they're gonna dox me. And
he gave plenty of reasons why Infrared is a cult leader. He doesn't listen to anyone else. He thinks he's the leader of everyone. He doesn't broach disagreement or dissent. He surrounds himself with yes men.
Responding to him and his various claims. Okay. What would people think of? Yeah, look, Danny. So I'm just gonna be full disclosure with you guys. At the party, we have a culture among leadership where we tell jokes with no political correctness in private, and very politically incorrect. And that is part of our comradeship, and it's humor, and all communists throughout all history did the same thing.
So calling each other...
And Danny, whenever he was present and privy to this, he would laugh along and tell jokes himself and participate. And, you know, so I don't know, all these things he's claiming that are these, you know, oh, you know, you're all this, being mean to all these people, all these different groups. He was right there with us, so I don't know what his issue is. He should have spoken up and talked about how offended he was. Then and there, I don't know what to tell you, all right? All right, November 13th, I texted the Politburo telegram saying that I had to take a big shit and that I would be 20 minutes late. And I was asking people to start 20 minutes late. That is true. One of the only legitimate criticism, I'm not going to say one of, the only legitimate criticism both John and Danny will be able to make, which I actually conceded to in our actual criticism session that we had prior to the meeting, rocks off.
When Haas drops the active horde leader, he sounds like a normal person, unsure of his ultimate path. No, I don't really think so. I mean, he's trying to be as normal as he can, but he also strikes me as extremely nervous, and he's also as extremely unorganized and kind of ranty in this video.
to make, which is that oftentimes I was late to Politburo meetings. And that is true. And I said, you're right, I should improve on that and strive not to be. Now, in my defense, I am constantly in communication at meetings, talking to the executive board. The weekly meetings with the Politburo, who are deputies of the executive board, are very important, but they're not always front and center of my attention, because I'll think that the day of, I handled a bunch of business with the executive board already, YouTuber. And, you know, whatever, I'm done. And then I'll realize, oh no, we have this meeting at 7 with the Politburo. So that's true. I should be completely never late and always present for those. And I actually agreed with that. And I haven't been late to a meeting since. It's been about 2 or 3 weeks. So, but that was the only real criticism they could make, actually. The rest were so vague and imprecise, and it lacked concreteness. He canceled and he postponed. He was testing us all. He claimed that I was afraid to put him in lead. Danny, I don't even know who you are. You were brought in. I'm not saying this to say that Midwestern Marks made a poor judgment, because I think they would have had no way of knowing. But I never knew who you were, dude. They thought you were suited to the task.
Chemical Mind.
I agreed with it. I had no pushback, and you betrayed all of our trust.
When I started as a YouTuber, Infrared would send his fans to my channel and say, debate Haas. So now that this has come out, and I have all this information to share, should I put in the chat, debate Chemical Mind? $5 and I'll put that in the chat.
He's talking about December 21st. I was in Russia. I'm pretty sure I was in Donbass or on my way back from Donbass, so I have no idea what he's talking about. So here he makes the accusation that I was lying. He's making strange accusations about things I said. I don't know what he's talking about. He's claiming that people called him and said that they don't know if I was drunk or bipolar. I don't know. Okay.
Someone don't know, and I'll put debate.
All right, now he decides to address me directly.
Maybe I'll just spam it, because apparently
you are a dark, isolated, antisocial individual who doesn't know how to work with others or see them as equals. Depending on your own conduct, depending on how quickly you shut down this racist, homophobic, anti-women, anti-American people fiasco, you'll be hearing a lot more. Okay. Well, we're not going to shut down the party,
okay.
So bombs away, Danny. I literally don't give a shit. Bombs away. Bombs away, dude. I don't give a fuck. Look at how scared I am. Don't give a shit. You think you can blackmail us and threaten us? You can't, okay? By the way, Danny, don't throw stones in glass houses. Just saying. Don't throw stones in glass houses. Because there's a lot of things you've done that you...
Thank you, Lucas, for the $5.
Incident. Remember that, Danny? The driveway incident? Remember that? Do we want to talk about that, Danny? Anyway.
Did he just see that? He just went silent right when I put that. Right. For every dono, I'll put debate Chemical Mind again in the chat.
To the infrareds, busy doxing people. Being terminally online talking shit is not revolution. Run it back. Danny's saying, doxing people and talking shit online isn't revolution.
Also, we're halfway to the goal for Hoi 4, community Hoi 4 game. For those wondering what is happening, read the pinned chat.
Huh. What is Danny Shaw doing right now? Sort through all the information that will emerge in the upcoming days.
Yeah, he really does seem like he's panicking.
Sure. Last thing I want was to be a whistle. Yeah, you're just like Snowden, dude. You're just like Snowden. Because you leaked a clip of me telling John what I thought about what he was doing. Which I don't regret, by the way, and I fully stand by everything I said. And you'll understand that when I get to John, and I get to that portion of this response.
Where is he streaming
Everyone
from?
remembers the violent
The
Black
second floor
Hammer
of his
cult,
parents' house, according to Danny Shaw, which
is now in motion when the EB tells us not to talk to anyone below our rank. Yeah, because Xi Jinping is so famous for sharing all of his talks with the Standing Committee to literally the entire public. You're right. And that's true that's how communist parties work. You just don't have any privacy when it comes to discussions within leadership. You're right. If you do, it's a cult. I've bastardized everything. I'm the worst guy ever. It's a fascist cult. Well, you were here, Danny. You were there for the majority of it.
And
only now you opened your mouth.
Because it's
whereas
a
before,
fascist cult.
like if you're gonna lie and say I'm running guns to Haiti, why not lie and be like, oh, when one guy decided to speak up, Haas came and grabbed a baseball bat and broke his knees. So I was coerced. I was intimidated. But it's like you have no way of justifying why the fuck you didn't open your mouth before. There's no precedent of us shutting down criticism. Again, the clip he shared of the meeting that we had that was
To Chairman Trash, I have zero trust in organized leftism now. My friend, the thing is that the ACP was created to make you have zero trust in organized leftism. If you go back earlier in my stream, I show how the ACP, the domain was founded in the same county that the CIA is located in. The website domain for the ACP was founded in the same county the CIA is in. And there's several other incredibly damning connections, which appears to show that the ACP and Infrared and Jackson Hinkle are funded and supported by the CIA, unironically.
See my family for over a month because I had to fucking listen to the bitching and whining of John and Danny. It's true. I didn't even see my family for an entire month. I was in Russia. You know, it was 300 meters away from a HIMARS strike. I didn't even see my family, who was very worried about me and wanted to, see me, and I couldn't. I had to take the whole day to do this because of their crybaby shit that they weren't even being like... Okay, I was late to some of the meetings. That's fair. But you could have just told me how much it's like eating away at you personally. But you made me take out an entire day to...
Isn't this what cult leaders say too? Is that like, you could have just talked to me, you could have just said something to me as a defense, when in reality you can't actually say anything to them?
So at the next meeting, by the way, that we were united, we're settled, it's over, business is conducted. John was silent for days. Nobody knows how he was feeling. He wasn't telling anyone. John decided to basically start the meeting off, where we had pressing business to attend to, with this theatrical performance reciting this document he spent all these days typing out without notice. And I basically shut it down. I was like, John, this isn't the place for that. You have to give us notice. If you want to have a meeting about your resignation or discussing it, you have to give us notice. We're not here for that. You're wasting all of our time. Okay? That's why I was so angry and dismissive of his criticism. It wasn't because we don't tolerate criticism. It's because he decided to share this theatrical resignation at a meeting where we had pressing business to attend to, unrelated to any of that, without notice. Just like Friday's meeting, where we had to have been given notice that we're going to listen to their Crybaby Bitch Festival, they have to do the same and tell us that you want time.
Look at the guy who says you can just come and talk to me, but then when someone complains or resigns, he calls it a Crybaby Bitch Festival. It's like, yeah, he sounds like a guy that you can definitely like just talk to and raise concerns with.
When we had fucking pressing business to attend to, okay? Again, I will organize in the courts and in the streets until you take go do it. Go fucking do it, all right? All right, that's the first article. Now, this is the one that he actually shared this with us internally. The 2nd of January, although he called it, he said the title of it originally was the faggots on the executive board, but he changed the title. But that was the original title by Danny Shaw. Very brave of him to say. Again, he wouldn't say it to our face. He wouldn't say anything to our face, but he made this the title of the Google Doc. He shared this with us on January 2nd. I responded to it in full at our meeting. But I...
To the infrared people in my chat, the infrared fans, put me in touch with Infrared. I'd love to ask him a few questions about some things. Put me in touch with him, please. I'm totally unprepared, and he is going to own me and get some great clips out of me. Please put me in touch with him. I'd love to have a chat with him. Just a quick chat.
About the internet. Go fucking cry about it, dude. He's not making any specific or particular criticisms of any particular things. He's just kind of making these boomer generalizations. What can I say?
For every dono, I will
liberalism
tell
and fear.
To debate me in his chat.
Haas, if he's so compelled, can cancel or postpone any meeting. I listened to concerns by people in the Politburo, and they were kind of saying, no, you know, you should understand we have schedules, and I found that to be fair. But, you know, but then he goes, he issues holy commands.
I can't find him.
And then he says, okay, I'm out. I don't need to be here for anything else. I asked, do I need to be here for anything else? And people would say no, so I'd leave because I have shit to do. What do you want me to say? He cuts people off and pretends to know everything. He's not a people person. Because okay, it's my fiefdom.
Send me his Discord. Please send me his Discord.
Okay, so he's saying, I was going to request an extended meeting from the Politburo. We can freely air out our resentments. And then Haas, sensing the walls are closing in around him, talks about harmful... Okay, I'm going to explain to you exactly what happened there. All right? Give me 1 second. I'm a little congested. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
You can ask them. You're in the Discord.
All right.
Please do. Please do.
Now, let's get right to it. Okay. So, a day before I was... No, not a day before. While I was on the airport coming back home from Russia, I started hearing a lot about drama going on in the Politburo. Specifically centered around Danny and John themselves, to be frank. And I kept hearing people talk about how there's all these grievances and all these issues and problems that they're having. And I'm starting to get confused because I'm like, why aren't you fucking telling me about them, or just being, or sharing those in the chat where I could see them, where we could all see them. There was a lot of gossiping and back channeling that was going on, and I noticed that. And so I wanted to have that meeting so I could say, guys, stop gossiping and just be open about whatever issues you have. Because I don't know what you're gossiping about. I can't read your minds. I don't know what issues you have or don't have. How could I know? I don't know, you know? So that was the harmful tendencies I was talking about. It turns out there was this methodical plotting and planning that had been going on this entire time, where basically Danny and John seemed like they were trying to build consensus for a coup or something. I don't know. What they didn't think through properly was, how are they going to justify to the rest of the Politburo why they believe throwing the Constitution away is justified? How can it be justified? You yourself voted to ratify that Constitution. I want to reiterate that, all right? So, like, long story short...
Oh my god. Speaking of Lenin, he has a literal Lenin bust. This is why I said I didn't want to get a Lenin bust, because it feels so fucking LARPy to me. And sure enough, look who has a Lenin bust right next to him.
He else agreed with them in the Politburo.
That's exactly what Danny Shaw said about Infrared, is that he's a LARPer.
Late to some meetings. I myself agreed with that criticism. But in terms of the serious, like, issues that seem to be so personal and strange in nature, nobody else shared their sentiments. They were not successful in convincing everyone else of their view. The cruelty of chief LARPers. Get offline and go offline. Stop worrying about the internet and social media. Again, it's a boomer who just doesn't understand the era we live in. Who is not open to listening to a rational explanation about why social media is important, why the internet is so important. Again, the reason I'm just kind of tired at this point is because it's like, I've tried so hard to exhaust reason, and they don't get their way, and then it's like they just start calling you names. No, you're a fraud. Okay, what do you want me to fucking say? Like, you're not even engaged. You're not even talking to me. Okay, you're not even speaking to me anymore. Like, you can say what you want. I tell you my response, but you don't respond to my response. You just start like crying and calling me names. What do you want me to fucking do? I'm not your mom. I'm not your dad. You're not my infant baby, and I'm supposed to intuit your feelings and whatever. You need to articulate yourself rationally and logically, or else I'm not going to be able to understand what your issue precisely is. Okay? He was upset that he couldn't articulate his feelings, I guess. I don't know. ACP's baptism by fire. The EB fashions itself above the rank and file. Well, I don't know what you mean by that, but if you mean that we are on the hierarchy and the chain of command above the rank and file, we are, because that's literally the structure of our party outlined in the Constitution. We are the executive decision-making power within the party. I am the chairman of that board that makes the decisions in the last instance, all right? Don't know what you want to say. We have a procedure of democratic centralism that is being fleshed out. It is fleshed out. It's being built. The plan is being implemented. We're a spring central committee, and then in a year or two, we're going to have our national congress where people can get rid of the executive board if they want, you know? But that's how it's set up. Russian agents.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying a Lenin bust is like the worst thing to own. It just feels weird to me. I would take it, you know, as like a gift, but I would never like buy that, you know? I don't know. the whole reason I'm doing the Soviet mystery box thing is because I feel like it would just be a fun thing to do on stream, and it would be nice to have something, you know, like on the wall or something like that.
Fun running was happening. That was literally it. And I had to do that, and it was necessary for me to do that. And I didn't know about all the I didn't know that in New Jersey there was going to be fucking UFOs or whatever. Okay, I was experiencing that while I was already there. He's complaining about Haiti. He's talking about Mao. Look, go form your own party, dude. That's why I don't take this personally, because whatever party this would happen, whatever party exists that shows any kind of promise, the same thing would happen to it, because it's what has happened in the past. Even the fucking PSL gets called a cult. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's very easy to.
So this idea about the fact that Marx never worked is a bit silly, because he was basically harassed his whole life for his political opinions. He couldn't really find work, consistent work, because of his political stances and beliefs, which is why he relied on someone like Engels to help him. You know, could he have maybe found some back-breaking laborer job? Sure, but he was, you know, a brilliant and talented writer and researcher, and that was his specialty, and that's what he deserved to be able to have a career in, but he was censored from doing so. The ex-leadership did articulate their position, but Haas reacted like a cult leader, lashing out with insults. Yeah. Identity politics can be idealistic or liberal, but there are so many theories of socialism, and we're not all becoming anarchists.
He goes, if you Haas respond the only way you know how, my diagnosis will be confirmed you're a narcissist. Here we get into the psychobabble. If I don't do what he says, then he gets to wreck the party and whatever. I mean,
didn't Haas call PSL a cult?
Nice.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it meant he was trying to, you know, advance his own organization.
I say I'm gonna fucking dox you, and I'm gonna embarrass the party publicly and attack you in public in front of the gorillas and everything. Have I ever done that? I don't. Okay.
In front of the gorillas. He calls his audience.
I'm the chairman, and I don't have the right to do that, according to our constitution. But he's in the Politburo, and he has the right to exercise unilateral dictatorial. Do what I want, or else. That's literally what he was saying in that document. I responded to it during that meeting. He didn't get his way. He acquiesced. He was silent. By the end of the meeting, Danny was going, comrades, let's go forward united. At the end of that meeting, where he had the opportunity to stand on all of his business that I just read to you, by the end of it, he goes, all right, comrades, we worked through it. Let's go forward. Crazy, right? The Haz al-Din cult through the lens of traumatizing narcissism. Am I the only one who... I skimmed through this, but I didn't find many factual accusations being made. I did read a lot of psychobabble. He's upset about the DSA thing. Should have said something then and there. Inside the... Beck describes motivated reasoning. Okay, this is just... I don't even have the fucking energy for this shit, alright? Like, it's just psychobabble. Make a fucking accusation, okay? Jim Jones was out here raping people, alright? He was out here beating people. He was out here, like, doing some bad shit. What have I fucking done to anyone in the party besides call John a bad word, which he deserved, by the way? And and took a shit 20 minutes into a meeting. Fuck, what a horrible cult leader, right? Like, what are the fucking crimes I'm actually being accused of that corroborates or validates any of this? Instead of wasting my time wallowing through this gibberish about, my crime is that sometimes, I call people mean name if I am upset with them. I don't do that often, by the way. And in John's case, I did that one time.
More accusations.
Precisely one time. You need to fucking...
He said that you're associated with Russian oligarchs, that you're late to all of the meetings, that you don't take any criticism.
Like, you can talk to me. John, I still appreciate you a lot. You're great. He's our fucking lawyer, you know? You think I want to piss off the lawyer? No. We needed him. Frankly, so not anymore, but at the time, yeah.
Rebelled. That's amazing.
And like, he really just tested my patience. He just kept coming after me constantly. Finally, bringing it up in a random meeting a week or 4 or 5 days after he had the opportunity to air out whatever he wanted to. He pushed me to my limit. You're right. I fucking blew up at him. Because holy shit, it's like you have such a personal... At this point, it was clear to everyone. His problem with me was pathological and personal, and it was a big mystery to all of us. But now I have a pretty good idea of where it was coming from and what it was all about. And that's what I'm going to get into now. Anything else about Danny that you guys feel like I need to respond to or address or anything? Because, let's look at Danny's little thread and see if there's...
I have some questions
I'd
like to
anything
ask
of substance to talk about.
All I need to say. That is exactly...
Oh, that's the clip where I yelled. Okay. 19 minutes, I'm not going to watch that. 16 minutes, not going to watch that. Danny Shaw, what a ridiculous character. What a ridiculous person. I don't take this guy seriously.
He's panicking, dude.
But he has made many legally actionable claims, which he's right about one thing. He's going to have to fight in the courts because he's done a lot of illegal things, leaking confidential without our consent or knowledge, recording us without our knowledge. You'd think that John would be working more closely with Danny Shaw, coordinating, making sure that they legally have everything covered, but he recorded us without our consent and shared it publicly without our consent. He's committed many crimes just for that alone. He's made actionable, libelous claims that I'm running guns or whatever. Danny Shaw, you better prepare. You said you're going to be fighting in court. You will be, I promise. Okay? Go ahead and say whatever you like.
I mean, your literal lawyer left, so I don't know how that's...
Can you address the door being unlocked? What are you talking about?
Who's your lawyer gonna be?
What is that? Can you...
I guess you're gonna have to...
Sorry if I haven't been meticulously at the Airbnb. We might have accidentally left a door unlocked. Maybe we did, and it was a mistake we made, but what's the point? Like, what? Should we be crucified for making a fucking mistake because we're human? So Christian's clarifying why. Because we didn't all know the code. That's why. They said you partied with oligarchs in Russia.
I'm sure he did.
Which oligarch? Who? How? What party? Who did I fuck? What party in Russia? What oligarch? What are you talking about? You know how they don't make specific claims? He claims you threatened party members with violence. But what is he talking about? What is he referring to? Again, you need to be suspicious. If there's no specific claim being made, there's probably a huge likelihood that he's just... He's just making it up. If I've threatened people with violence, there would have been violence. There's no violence. There's nothing. Nothing happened. You guys need to put in perspective that what happened was that I took a shit for 20 minutes and that Danny was exposed for being a liar about Haiti.
What?
and that I called John a faggot. And I confess to all of these crimes. But that's honestly the only thing he said. That's why I woke up today and I saw this shit,
amazing.
and I just was
This
like,
is so good.
I know I'm in deep shit, and I should really be paranoid, and I should be really panicking and whatever. But I'm like, I don't know, like, I don't even know how I'm supposed to react to this. I was surprised they doxed me. But I don't really see the substance. Like, is this it?
I mean, yeah,
Or
I guess
is there a
releasing his name if it wasn't public is doxing, but didn't Infrared, weren't they known for doxing people? Like, the community? Haven't they doxed multiple people multiple times? I do not know that for sure, but that's something I've heard, I believe, multiple times. Not saying too wrong.
If half of our
right,
chapters
but-
seceded, I'd be panicking, alright? If something happened that actually, like, damaged our party severely happened, I'd be really panicking. But I don't know.
I'm trying to get into the Infrared Discord and Telegram, but it's not letting me. I think they're scared. I think they're scared.
Vague insinuations about something so horrible. Danny Shaw, one of the nights in the Dearborn conference, was being very disrespectful to the Airbnb owners because he pulled up in the driveway while engaging in certain, acts with a PSL woman in the driveway in his car in front of everyone. Shocking everyone and offending everyone's sensibilities. That's what happened, all right? We can go, I'm not going to go into more detail, but that's really it. Okay? People were very upset and pissed off. We did not discipline him over it. Maybe the Midwestern Marks guys. I think they gave him a stern talking to, but I was just, when I heard about it, I was just like, oh, I mean, it's kind of fucked up, but I mean, why should the party care about that, right? But I'm just saying, he wants to make shit so personal. Like, Danny, that's not even everything, by the way. That's not even everything when it comes to Danny.
That's the best he's
all right?
got on Danny. Is
For somebody that's like grandstanding
kissing a
so
girl or
much and making all these
That's all he
personal
has.
attacks on me,
He was kissing another woman.
you get your own
that's it.
fucking house in order, all right? That goes for John as well. I don't want to talk about anything personal, and I won't until they do. But don't fucking throw stones in glass houses, all right? You guys aren't perfect by any means. I'm not perfect, but neither are you. So don't throw stones in glass houses, all right?
Oh my god. Oh. Well done.
Well, I talk about Bree's ridiculous, retarded thread. Maybe for last, because Bree is probably the most inconsequential person here. She has a history of being a stalker and a
who is
serial
Bree?
harasser
Is that
and someone
another
who
person
like
who's
has
part of
had
the
these
ACP?
incredibly obsessive tendencies of just constantly badgering and bothering people. She was also dating a do I want to go here about Bree? People want to talk about Black Hammer. Bree was dating a former member of Black Hammer who was in trouble with the feds and had a lot of shit on him and was, we thought, compromised to the point where we literally issued an order for no one to speak to this person because we found out they were being detained and they didn't fucking tell us anything, that they were detained and they got picked up by the feds and they were being charged with all this shit. This guy went silent, didn't tell us a fucking thing, and Bree was dating this guy. So, do the math. I don't know. That's why that guy was never allowed in the party, by the way.
So Bree was
yeah,
a chapter head
yeah,
and she
crazy,
resigned
right?
several weeks ago. Okay.
Crazy. See, it's so funny these guys think I'm scared of the public. I'm not scared of the public, all right? I just don't want to waste the public's time. That's all. I don't want the public's time to be wasted and distracted. See, for example, I would have just preferred that like we stay the course, we get the work done, we do what we got to do. And we don't talk about any of this drama, this nonsense, but we have to talk about it. Fine, let's talk about all of it then. That's fine. Again, at the end of the fucking day, if these people think that I'm scared of the public about anything, I'm not. There's nothing I am scared to talk about, okay? It's just, do I want to waste the public's time? Do I want to waste my party's time talking about nonsense? No, I'd rather us just stay focused on what needs to be done, okay? Yeah. So, simple as that, you know? At the end of the day, if you're gonna make up that I was running guns to Haiti, you should have said that I like beheaded someone or something. Like, actually, if you're gonna make shit up, and that's the least you can do, you're a fucking retard. I've always thought Danny was a retard, by the way. I thought maybe he had a good heart to be the most charitable. From the very beginning, my private, personal impression of Danny, which I share only with my own thoughts and myself, was that he was a big retard. And it was always hard to take him seriously, although I did it for the sake of...
Speaking of taking seriously, this guy is the head leader, chairman of the Communist Party. This isn't just some random guy. This guy is the leader of the party.
He's just got this thing where he's just like a delayed response time. Maybe that's the most charitable explanation for why. He's like,
such a
Kyle gets pissed at the meeting when we're talking about Haiti. Danny doesn't realize how much he's being injured. He's taking it in. Okay, it takes him 3 months to fully process. He's 6'8". It's all processing. What the fuck just happened? And then he explodes and he realizes that he was wrong, and that's his delayed response. Maybe because he's very big, he has a huge metabolism, just like it takes longer to digest food. Maybe that this was the reason. But for example, he wrote all of these things January 2nd, but he released them now, and between 2nd and now, he was pretending everything was good, and he's moving forward with the party, whatever. He was lying to everyone. But why? Now, John's segment, I'm going to talk about, if there's anything else I need to talk about when it comes to Danny. Danny's not a serious person. It's just that he made some very serious allegations.
No, that's not
specifically when it came to running guns to Haiti.
Said that he's a big admirer
John is a level of seriousness above Danny because he's a lawyer, and he's someone I took much more serious. So actually, John's treachery was actually, if I took anything personally.
Why does he not take Danny seriously? Danny is a fucking professor, apparently, and a lifelong left-wing on-the-grounds organizer and activist. That seems like someone to take pretty seriously.
Good impression of him. Can you address what he said about those who may be on the left, from isolating those who may be on the left from uniting with us? Your best guess is as good as mine. I think he's talking about the PSL and whatever, because we do internally discuss at length how we do want to be distinct. And he was always kind of saying, no, the PSL are fine. I guess he wanted us to unite with PSL and DSA.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Beats me. I don't know, because he never told me a fucking thing about how he felt. So I have no idea. I'm just guessing just like you are, okay? John. The very serious guy, John Molera. John Molera. I'm forced to do this because, well, I'm not loyal to the party. Just like Bree, by the way. I'm loyal to the people. What do you mean by that, John? Well, I'm loyal to my idea of the people. Oh, so you're loyal to yourself. Got it. That's exactly what you mean. Same with Bree. Bree goes, I'm not loyal to a party. I'm loyal to the masses. What do you mean? I
a
mean,
good
like
point.
my sense of what the masses are. Okay, so you're loyal to yourself. That's fine. Just say that. Again, if it's not our party, it would be any party. That's a constant theme you need to take away from this. If it wasn't our party, it would be any party. Any party, you have to deal with the problem that you're not always going to get your way, that there is going to be a fucking leader. Okay? Shocker. Party needs leadership. There's going to be a leader. And if it's a strong party, that leader is going to be very popular and loved by the rank and file. If it's a strong party. And you're going to have these problems in any party. Okay? That's especially a successful party, one that's as successful as ours. So I'm not even taking it personally. I'm just interested to know what a real communist party is if ours isn't that. Go and show us by practice what a real one looks like. It's constantly what I'm going to constantly say. If it's not our party, it would be any party. And this is the same story. I mean, look, guys. This has happened to so many stupid little organizations before. We are not a stupid little organization. And that's why 2 people leaving is not going to destroy the ACP, okay? I think some of our enemies were expecting like an implosion over this. Yeah, if we were a stupid small sect, this would be the type of thing that destroys us. But in reality, we are a party with strong structural integrity, which can afford a few individualistic, wreckers leaving. We can afford, trust me, we can afford, you may not want to hear this, guys, but we can afford Bree leaving, and we can afford Danny leaving, and we can even afford John leaving. Sorry, like, what do you think? Everything's gonna blow up because of this? Is that what you thought? Is that what you thought? Even if I was sitting in fucking jail right now, because somehow I was actually guilty of the things Danny says, that I'm smuggling guns to Haiti.
What is infrared?
The rank and file of the American Communist Party, day in and day out, would be outside the county jail that I'm being held, or the prison I'm being held, protesting for my release, doing everything in...
What's going down on Sunday between the parties involved?
That. Which I'm not. You want to call that a cult? Call it whatever the fuck you want, dude. I don't care. Our party has a constitution. I follow the party's constitution, and it's as simple as that. The loyalty that Infrared has to me is not defined within the constitution. It doesn't need to be. Okay, I've been here for 4 years, and my people. See, you guys need to understand why I can't take it personally. Like, do you really think a 5'8" Arab from Dearborn is this giant monster who is controls the world or whatever? Do you really think that? Do you really think all this hatred is for a 5'8" Arab from Dearborn who yells on a mic on a stream?
Isn't he like 5'6"?
No.
Not 5'8".
They're not after me. They're after you. I am your leader. It's not me. Danny Shaw doesn't know me. I did not fuck Danny Shaw's wife. I did not fuck John Malara's wife. I did not aggrieve them in any personal way. I did nothing against them. I didn't steal money from them. They have nothing against me. I have literally done nothing against them. All of their resentment, all of the problems they have, if there are personal problems. In John's case, I'm going to fill you in on some information that might make you doubt that. All of the issues have to do with the fact that the chat looks like this. That's literally it. It's you guys. You guys are what they resent, what they want to destroy, and what they hate. I'm just standing in the fucking way. Ain't that the truth, though? Ain't that the truth? Like, I would be a nobody if I wasn't if the banner all of you are rallying behind. Okay? There would be no Haas, and that would be the end of that. There would be no Haas. Without you, there would be no Haas. There would just be Ali. Ali is fine. Ali comes from an honorable name and an honorable family. Ali has always been, to the best of his ability, an honorable man. Ali had a good life going for him in law school, where I could have made a lot of money and pursued a very lucrative career at something I am naturally gifted at. Ali had a great life lined up for him, and Ali was one of the happiest people in the whole fucking world. From childhood until now. Okay? I came from a great family, great parents, and I had a really good life. You need to understand that. Really good life. I've struggled with the same personal issues that any teenager or anyone else would struggle through. Depression, self-doubt, all that kind of stuff. But before Infrared started, I had already worked through all of that, right? On a personal level, my life was fucking great. But suddenly, I got insomnia in law school because I had so much to share with the world. So much to share with the world about Marxism, about communism, about the left wing, about the revolution, whatever you want to fucking call it. I had so much to share with the world that I wasn't. And that was keeping me up at night. So that's how Haas was born. That's who Haas is. Haas is you. That's where it came from. Without you, there's no Haas. Understand what this is all about, Understand what this is all about. And by the way, you're going to get an influx of retards who don't know that Ali and my last name in combination is literally Joe Smith. So they're going to find all these random fucking people that aren't me and say that it's me. Good luck. Okay? Make sure you get the story. Make sure you can pin it all on one person, not 20 different people. Not 20. Thousands of people. Okay? So get ready for that as well. I don't care. I'm not even going to respond to it. I literally don't give a fuck. Because you know why? Because after the Adam to Here thing, don't ever fucking listen to a word any of these retards ever say again. Okay? After the Adam to Here thing, just stop fucking listening to what they say. Okay? They lost the credibility when it came to accuracy.
Now that his name is public, is it doxing if someone were to look into... I mean, if someone were to look into his life and find that he had connections to, the federal government or something, I feel like that would be pertinent information to share,
Entire elaborate story about Adam to Here being a Fed, Adam to Here being a this, Adam to Here doing this and that. Oh, I have proof. See, this person said Adam did. This person looked at their ID and it said Adam to Here. Adam to Here was this entire character they built, and who is Adam now? What happened to Adam to Here? Right? Look, look. Are you really gonna forget the 4 years of Adam to Here? Are you really going to forget 4 years of Adam to Here? And go and get strung along with another fucking stupid made up fan fiction story they make. All right, good luck. I literally kept telling you guys for 4 years that I was not Adam to Here. Why would I do that? It wasn't even my real name. I was protected by that name, actually. But I didn't want to be named Adam because it's not my name.
Okay, now I'm starting to think his name
it didn't feel right.
Here.
And I think the feds were playing a weird game where they knew who I was, could have doxed me at any time. No, I didn't go to a fucking private school, retard. You got the wrong guy, okay? Please, stop wasting everyone's time, okay? Stop wasting everyone's time with this nonsense. Just like I told you I'm not Adam to Here, okay? I've always been truthful. I've never lied to you guys, okay? Substantively about who I am. I just haven't told you my name before. And that's for my family's sake. But I literally told everyone for 4 years that I wasn't Adam to Here, and no one listened. And a lot of people ran with that. Destiny retweeted that fake docs. Everyone ran with it. So many people. Oh, my fucking the Google results said I'm Adam Tahir. Even Grok says I'm Adam Tahir. Ask Grok what my name is. It says I'm Adam Tahir. Okay.
So he's from Dearborn, Michigan?
Are you imagine that it was all a lie. They created a completely fake character and it was all wrong. Okay.
Hold on a fucking sec. Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. Where is it? Isn't Mitra Corporation located in Michigan? Or no? Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Didn't I read that it was... No, damn it, Massachusetts. Oh man, I got so excited for a second. I was like Charlie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia with the crazy wall and like freaking out and stuff.
If he's a Fed, I don't think he is. I don't know. But I think something happened. And I'll tell you exactly what happened. I will tell you what I know. And I will give you a full disclosure about why John's doing this and what... All right. Now, the explanation he's giving is along the lines of, I didn't like how the Constitution or the Convention went down. Hawes did he was the worst. Yeah. These are all things you could have brought up to me or anyone else before. I didn't get a fucking word that this guy was so upset by this. So I don't buy that. See, the problem with John consistently is all the explanations he's been giving don't add up. That's why it was very frustrating. So I'm gonna from the top, I'm gonna give you the entire story with John. There are details I'm gonna leave out as a last act of mercy on him. I am prepared to reveal those details in proportion with him engaging in any further doxing. So, but all relevant information for now I'm going to share with you, okay? So John came and he was a licensed attorney. And he was not at the plenary committee at the founding of our party, where the Constitution's structure and the goals were actually decided, okay? I don't even need to address this because it's a complete distraction. But if John had such an issue with the Constitution, he should understand two things. One, it was the responsibility of the executive board to decide what the Constitution should be drafted, the draft, right? He was being tasked with laying a skeletal structure just for the sake of formality, not to be given discretionary power to decide the constitution of the party, but to basically, he knew this, to give us a form and structure that we could revise and modulate whatever to conform to what we had agreed on at the plenary committee meeting in Chicago. So he knew that. He was upset with the adjustments that were made, but he said nothing. He didn't raise any concerns the night of or after. John claims that he had all these issues with the Constitution, but he never raised any issues. Not only that, he voted to ratify the Constitution at the convention. Now, I want to give you guys some clarity on how the ratification worked. We had plans in case there was a majority vote or a huge contentious split over the Constitution. And we wanted to give room for criticism, for people to raise objections and whatever at the convention itself. John, Bree, and Danny all read the Constitution and all voted yay. The vote was unanimous at the convention for the ratification of that Constitution. So the time to cry about the unfairness of the Constitution was then, even if you felt you couldn't raise your voice and object to it for whatever mysterious reason. You should have been transparent with us that you weren't planning on actually, following honorably the pledge and vow you made to actually follow the rules and procedures of the party you agreed to ratify in your acting capacity as a member of our legal department. Or in the case of Bree, as a chapter executive. So they have no sense of discipline. I'm not claiming here that the Constitution is perfect. Although I will stand on it, it's the best Constitution it can be. But it's irrelevant because they made the decision to ride with that Constitution, to agree with it. They voted in favor of it. They change their mind later, that's fine, but that's on you. That's not on us. That's on you. You take responsibility that you fucked up and you made a misjudgment and leave and get the fuck out of our faces. But he feels like he has the right to cause... You know it's so petty and vindictive for him because it's like, I have to dox him too. I have to dox him. Okay. That's how you know it's like nothing. Why did you dox me? If your reasoning adds up, why do you need to dox me? You know, well, because he's literally just trying to destroy me at this point, and I am a little bit amused because, sorry, John, it's going to be a lot harder. Look, I'm a little insulted because Danny and John, did you think we never thought this could happen? Like we never ran through our head this scenario and have some kind of plan for it? Give us a little more credit that we've thought this through, right? Yeah. Anyway, look, John didn't say a word about any issues with the Constitution. He got to the work of acting attorney for the party. Successfully, he agreed with what we were doing, which is defending the party from libelous...
Okay, so... this is complete speculation, but we know that Vosh made many on-screen assertions that he was pro-CP, all this different stuff, many different times. He's basically a full NATO liberal now. We know that Beau of the Fifth Column harassed or basically trafficked women to America to basically be work slaves in Florida. You know what? I'm not going to make this claim yet. Because it's a very serious claim to make. But I'm going to do more research and look into it more before I say anything more about what I think the deal with infrared might actually be. Because it could very well be wrong. I don't know yet anything.
They doxed him multiple times. They were sharing photos of him, of like, he went outside running yesterday or something. They shared a photo of that. They were getting in his head psychologically, okay? He was really tilted and really stressed about it. Everyone who talked to him personally can attest to that. I didn't talk to him about his stress and stuff, but I was being told by others, okay? So he was being fucked with, big time, okay? And John was getting so aggrieved and felt so injured by this that he decided to file a lawsuit personally. I did not force him to file this lawsuit. I didn't even give him the order, okay? One day he called me and he said, "Haas, I've had enough. I've talked to my attorneys. We are going to file litigation years long. It's going to be against our two very prolific enemies who are obsessed with us." But why they're obsessed, I'm going to fill you in on some information John told me. I can't corroborate it. I can't verify it. I'm just going to tell you what he told me. Okay? Every week he would fill me in on how his talks with his attorneys were going and how the litigation was going, the process of filing it. And he kept saying that it's very promising and this is going to be like a slam dunk case because they are clearly engaging in libel. We have the ability to get what are they called? Where the court is going to tell Twitter to basically we were going to be able to expose all of these alts. Discovery was going to reveal a lot, and it was subpoena, exactly, very promising. He was like, these people have come after me. They made it personal. I'm going to go after them. He also said, I'm going to bring the party into this as well because the party's also being injured. But John was very motivated, very determined, and like super confident. Every phone call I had with him, he was incredibly confident. And he was incredibly pumped and ready to go. Okay? Then I think in late November, I may be getting, it could be early December or late November. Get this, okay? All right, I'm just going to fucking throw everything on the table and tell you what we know, okay? All right, so John was he was filing litigation against Johnny Socialism, okay?
Oh my God, what?
Because he thought this is the guy who's doxing me and whatever, yada, 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 right?
That's insane.
But
Johnny Socialism is like the guy that I've gotten a bunch of really useful and helpful information from about the American Communist Party and all of them.
Bizarre, inhuman levels of stalking and obsession of me for years, literally 3 years. I haven't even, this is the first time I've mentioned his name in 3 years. Sorry, not 3 years. 2 years at least,
crazy.
Right?
They were trying to sue him. And
it became very apparent that he was behind Johnny. Like, he was the guy. All right, there's stuff you're not hearing, all right? Johnny called me. I think it was August or July. No, it wasn't. It was June. I think it was June. Johnny called me. Very conciliatory, strange call. Where Johnny was like, look, Haas, I want to put an end to the beef. I want to be done with this. We have our disagreements. This call would have blown your mind. That's why I haven't been going after Johnny and them, because he called me. I said, Johnny, look at what is all this crap you're saying about me, calling me a Fed, calling us Feds. Johnny admitted in that call that he made many claims against me that were false.
Let's get some donos towards that Hoi 4 goal, guys. Come on. It's been like over an hour.
Him from, I don't know who it was. I wasn't ordering anything, but he was saying it was really getting to him, and he's being like, he's being mentally aggrieved by it, and it's upsetting him a lot. Now, look, I am over whatever. I was over any personal whatever. Like, I don't give a fuck, all right? Whatever. I don't care. So I just told him, listen, Johnny, I am fully prepared to just issue an order publicly, even allow you to come on stream publicly to win standing, and just say, listen, they have their disagreements, but we're going to go our separate ways. No more of this viciousness, no more of these personal attacks, no more of any of that. We're going to be done, okay? But I said, but also, does your friend Andrew know about this? Because I want him to also stop the attacks. Now, Johnny goes, Andrew is a completely different beast, basically. Like, he's a completely different case. I'm going to go talk to him and see. Because I was ready for all beef to be squashed and just move on. Because I don't give a fuck, right? And then that's the last I talked to Johnny. And then I never fucking heard from him again. And then we launched ACP and Johnny resumed attacks. Because he started clashing with Midwestern Marks and whatever more. So that is one of the reasons. But this isn't even the best part, all right? Full disclosure. John and his attorneys started to research this Andrew guy and dug into his past of organizing and being on the Bernie campaign locally, Thurston County, all this kind of shit. And they found a pattern of behavior of all these like random women on Facebook complaining about him, saying that he's this like obsessive psycho, he's doing this, he's harassing us constantly. there were so many weird things they were saying. They were saying that Andrew was working for some like Republican politician, that Andrew was faking websites, and petitions and faking stuff in the mail about his opponents, that he would all this like stuff that like one guy couldn't possibly be doing, right? Super weird string and pattern of behavior that John, not me, John was uncovering with his attorneys. Okay? I shit you not, and I'm ready to go to court to testify this and have a subpoena, release all conversations, because I know they have a way of getting those, okay? And John told me that his attorneys were absolutely fucking convinced. He told me this either in late November, early December, that Andrew was an FBI informant. And then what I said was, if we go through with the litigation, that will be revealed. We're going to find out. I said, we're going to find out. Because he was being personally injured and aggrieved by what was going on, okay? So I said, well, let's find out. I don't, that's what they think. I said, I don't know. I mean, are attorneys experts in this shit? I don't fucking know. But John was...
Man, I'm fucking lost at this point. Who's Andrew? I was looking at something else, like a theory of who Infrared might be, and I missed the whole fucking Andrew thing.
Really, really going after that guy, John, okay? Okay, I go to Russia. When did I leave to Russia? Was it the 10th or the 11th? I don't remember, okay? Now, the leadership, executive board, and the Politburo decided that they were going to have an in-person meeting in Chicago, in person, in my absence, because they needed to touch base and talk about things. John also had some information he wanted to share with us, right? At the last minute, John, he says something very weird. I'm giving you the precise facts. Not the precise facts, the rough facts, but he said something along the lines of, my landlord needed help fixing a pipe, so I'm going to help my landlord fix a pipe. I don't think, it wasn't even like in his own apartment or whatever. So I was like, in his own room, I mean. So I was like,
true working proletarians.
His own space that he's renting. Christian, please correct me if I'm wrong, all right? It was a super weird last minute excuse. And everyone was kind of like in his it was in his unit. Okay, got it. Thanks for correcting that.
I mean, I don't care if Haas
but it was,
and then all of them had a call to squash the beef, because Johnny did some really freaking good shit to show that the domain for ACP is literally registered in Fairfax County, location of the CIA, and that the domain is owned by a guy who worked for the U.S. government affiliated corporation called Mitra, which was a cybersecurity type thing. Cold War cutout.
There was a meeting they held while I was there.
Give me fucking money.
Some people got ticked off by that. He was leading the charge on that, by the way. But during mid-December to late December, John started acting strange. John had always vented about how stressed he was and how much... We all vent. Everyone vents. But the qualitative nature of his grievances started to really drastically change after mid-December. And he started kind of sounding strange and taking things a little drastic, like, how could this guy be our chairman? He's late to meetings sometimes, or... He kept kind of really badgering in on it, right? And the minute that he felt that it was the opportune time that he could make his move, which was while I was like on the plane back from Russia, John started calling everyone saying, we need to hold Haas accountable. We need to hold Haas accountable. Well, hold me accountable for what? My absence for the month when I was in Russia on a completely different time zone, and getting fucking bombed by HIMARS. I mean, like, he knew that what I was doing was important. He agreed with it. So did everyone else. I didn't go to Russia without the permission of the executive board. They were convinced it was important. So he started like saying, you need to hold him accountable.
Nature walking through. Thank you for the $5. Me and Johnny made up. Source, dude, trust me. Yeah, I mean, who knows if they made up, and even if they did, you know, I'm sure Infrared or ACP did some fucked up thing to reverse that, because, I mean, pick your choice. You know, baristas are bourgeoisie, or, you know, landlords are, we support landlords and landlordism. You know, siding with Jackson Hinkle. Like, there's plenty of reasons Johnny had, even if he did agree to make up, there's plenty of reasons Johnny had to be like, no, fuck this guy.
Afraid, to be honest, because I was traveling. I was in Russia. It was not something I was doing for fun, okay? And it was just like, I just got back, and while I'm in this vulnerable state physically, they're making moves to plot against me. I'm just like, what the fuck? But whatever. I said whatever. We'll talk. But no, we have to do it now. Listen, I've been awake for 2 days. Let me sleep. We'll have the meeting. Okay. I've been traveling on a 30-hour flight. All right. So Friday, I tell John before, I was like, listen, John, I need your grievances to be concrete. I can't, these vague things you're saying, give me specific receipts and specific criticisms. You're saying I'm a cult leader and I'm unprofessional and whatever. I don't know what you're talking about. He kept talking about the night of the convention and the Constitution. By the way, in his video, he says something really weird. He goes, the night of the convention, instead of drafting the Constitution, Haas went and had an impromptu in-person stream. When he was talking about when I was in that room and I was tired and everyone came in the room and I was just like talking.
So Eddie Liger is saying that John or Jack and John and the Andrew or Johnny Socialism are the feds, when there's plenty of direct and indirect evidence that very strongly implies that Infrared is the one that is a fed.
Anyway, so yeah, all right. John made me feel very paranoid, by the way, that first week.
4 donos away from the Hoi 4 goal, by the way, guys. Next Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. If you reach the goal, we're having a Community Hearts of Iron 4 game.
Not even a word, not even a hint you had these issues. And why are you doing this while I'm in Russia or when I just came back from Russia, like on the plane? I don't understand. I was very paranoid, awake for 2 days, very confused, very tilted, very manic, okay? I didn't know what to think. I got a good night's rest, and things became more clear to me. There's more details to this, but I don't want to waste your time. I could get into them if I need to. Anyway, so the meeting on Friday, John came with a list of about 10 sins I've committed. And so among these sins, I don't remember all of them. They were very nebulous. Again, the one that was valid was the meeting on time thing. I think
John's
I agreed with that. I said, yeah, sure.
Straightforward,
but does that justify all of this?
nebulous.
I don't know. I mean, you could have messaged me, said, hey, it's really bothering me that you're late to these meetings. Don't do that in the future. It's bothering me. Like, you could have said anything. But whatever. That was the one thing. But everything else, I'll give you some highlights of his little list. John claimed that when I fired an RPG in Russia in September, that was unprofessional. He said that this offended certain people internationally who wanted to join the party but couldn't because they were so taken. That was one of the examples of unprofessionalism, is that I fired an RPG. He said that, get this is Rich. You guys ready to hear this? He said that I don't do enough to boost other people's social media, meaning him. I'm not doing enough to retweet and boost John's shit. Okay, look, it has nothing to do with the party, first of all, okay? I'm not obligated to boost your shit.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, that's
by
kind
the
of
way,
lame criticism.
Had he just reached out to me and asked me one time to retweet him or boost his shit, I would have. He never did that. He was upset that I didn't read his mind, that he wanted me to retweet and boost his stuff. And that was one of his grievances. And it's a grievance that stood out so much that I kind of felt like if this was personal, like that's probably one of the big ones for him, which was that I wasn't giving him enough fucking clout. Which I would have if he asked, but he never asked. I should have just known intuitively that that's what he wanted. Anyway, what else did he say? He said that he kept making these vague insinuations about like, oh, well, he has a temper. He yells on his stream. But couldn't you have known that before you joined the fucking party? He said, another thing he had a problem with, the DSA thing. The DSA thing was the wrong move. Why didn't you fucking say anything?
Stream is one thing, but having
because you just announced it.
Especially when you're the chairman of what's supposed to be like a professional, important political party, that's a different thing, you know? Like, it's probably not good to have a temper yet be in a position of leadership, you know? Black October, thank you for the $5.
The chapter enterprises aren't viable. It's a stupid idea. You're going on your streams encouraging people. John, the enterprise idea was here before the launch of the party. You knew about it. We filled you in on it. You knew it was going to happen. You knew I was going to go on stream and tell everyone about it. You knew about this. You knew this was the plan for a long time. You lost faith in it because we don't have the businesses up and running yet. Even though we have at least three cases.
The goal is about to expire for the Hoi 4 game, but I'll just keep it going as long as I'm streaming, which might not be too longer. I don't know. There was a Twitter space that was going to talk about this that I was thinking about joining, but I don't know if it's going to happen or when it's going to happen, because I'm not going to wait like another 2 hours just for Twitter space. So 3 more donos and then we get to the 10 dono goal, and then we can get that Hoi 4 game.
Individualist, and they expressed as much to us. Multiple occasions they said that, okay? So it had nothing to do with Bree's nonsense spurg out, okay? So that's completely unrelated, by the way. So at that meeting, I went down the list one by one. And I explained to John everything I just told you now about... Because I have the right to respond. You do have the right to challenge me and criticize me, but I also have the right to respond. And my responses were not particularly unconvincing to everyone that was present. They kind of felt like, well, I mean, Haas did have a point. And John and Danny felt betrayed because they were like, nobody was raising their voice against Haas. But you were putting me on trial in front of everyone. I defended myself successfully, and I convinced people that your grievances were not entirely justified. And you saw that as a betrayal. That's why throughout these spurg outs that they're sharing, they're constantly talking about how like, oh, not one person raised their voice or said anything. Because you challenged me in front of everyone, and I responded to you. And what could they say? They could have said anything they wanted to. They agreed with some things. I also agreed with some things. But overall, the disruption of discipline, such as back-channeling, such as gossiping, that was one of the things we brought up. Like, look, the Politburo are deputies of the executive board. They don't have formally the ability to hold us accountable. That's what the Central Committee is supposed to do, okay? Central Committee forms in the spring.
Okay, so someone else shared what I was already theorizing a little bit. So it is not me making this original claim, but someone else is claiming, and what I thought could be possible. There was an Ali Hamoud who, in 2018, sexually assaulted a high schooler at the age of 23. Infrared says he's 28, but he could be lying about his age, because this Infrared would have been 22 by now. Who was accused of sexually assaulting a teenage girl in a high school. So I tried, as the stream was going on, to look more into this case, and I was struggling to find it. I do not know if this is Infrared, but remember with Beau of the Fifth Column, Beau of the Fifth Column was trafficking women to Florida, and he got caught, and then all of a sudden all of his charges basically got dropped, and he basically mysteriously lost all of his the legal repercussions for his actions. And so maybe Infrared could be some kind of, they dropped his felony charges to be like some fucking crazy ass wrecker online. That would be insane. Allegedly. Allegedly. Because besides that Insta post, I was looking for more info and I couldn't find anything on the case. There was a different case in Dearborn with an Ali Hamoud, but I couldn't find anything else about the sexual misconduct charge. Nothing. How does one look up, court records and that kind of thing? Case search Dearborn, Michigan. Hinkle was the one that got banned from a Chinese social media app. I don't know about Hawes.
Or however long, where we're basically going to talk about the recruitment drive and stuff like that, right? The actual immediate business we had to attend to. Everyone agreed. Everyone fucking agreed. Everyone was like, all right. Danny goes, comrades, we said what we had to say. Now let's move forward. A new chapter. We're better for this. We're going to be united. John was nothing. He had nothing to say. So, for all we knew, everything was fine. Now, John, it turns out everything wasn't fine for him. For Danny, everything was fine as far as what he was telling everyone. But John was like, Haas still needs to be held accountable. He kept telling Eddie and the Midwestern Marks guys that. He kept telling everyone else that, telling Grayson that. Everyone kept asking him, what do they think should happen? What do they want? He needs to be held accountable. He needs to resign. He needs to do this. Nobody understands what he's going through some shit in his head mentally, right? Because he's got this. I started to get confused because I was like, man, this guy really has an issue with me. Like, straight up, I don't really know this guy that well. And I'm like, he's got resentment toward me. And I put this down to like basic group resentment dynamics. Where like, yeah, I'm the leader. Infrared loves me. I'm super popular. And he's got this resentment toward me. And I just tried not to take it personally. And I was like, oh, he's just got this fucking issue with me. I got frustrated because he wouldn't call me. He wouldn't message me. He wouldn't tell me. He wouldn't be upfront about any of it. He wasn't being honest about what his real issue was coming from. And I was just assuming that he was like, oh, you know, he's got this issue with me. It's pathological. It's personal. It's visceral. And that was being corroborated by a lot of the shit he was telling. For example, let me tell you guys something. Let me tell you something really weird, all right? John told some of us that Haas reminds me of this friend I had in high school who took a lot of drugs and was drinking all the time and then got into a car accident and crashed into a car. And he was my best friend and he did that. And they were like, but Haas doesn't do drugs or anything. And he doesn't really drink at all or whatever. And then John was like, yeah, but like, he's like, you know, but like, it just reminds me of that friend. We were just like, what the fuck, dude? They were like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck? What are you even talking about, dude? He's like, it reminds me of my friend in high school. I was like, all right, this is like some psychology shit. I'm not a fucking therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm also not his parents, and he's not my infant baby, and I don't know how to intuit his crybaby emotions. So I was getting frustrated with John a lot. Frustration was building up internally from me, because like this guy just won't fucking tell us what his problem is. But I kept it cool. I didn't say anything. Sunday meeting. I show up on time, on the dot. Everything was planned. Everything was like organized. It went very smoothly. The Sunday meeting, which John was present at and was recording at. We sorted out all the urgent business we had to do. And after that meeting, John was messaging people like, I'm very happy about how that went. You know, it was very good. So I'm thinking, all right, he's going to calm down. It's all chill. He just needs space. We're chill. Like, everything's fine. All right? So, like, I basically am like, all right, whatever. Now, the week, John goes silent. He stops talking to anyone. Except Christian. He keeps talking to Christian, and he's keeping up the appearance and the impression that everything is going fine. Don't worry, everything's going fine. Things have been going swimmingly. We're good. Turns out in that period he was drafting his like little manifesto or whatever that he shared. Wednesday's meeting. We have pressing business to attend to. We start the meeting. John opens up in his little camera with his suit. It has been, I have to, in good conscience, he's like super formal. He's reciting a paper. I hear about 3 sentences of it and I just go, John, this is not the time and place for this. We actually have shit we have to get to and attend to. Could have brought this up literally any time before. You had Friday. After Friday, you could have reached out to any of us and communicated that this. But he wanted to make a theatrical performance about his resignation. And I was kind of just like, John, if you want to leave, just fucking leave. We have business to attend to. Just fucking go then. And he wouldn't talk to me. He kept talking. I started to get frustrated, all right? He kept reciting his little paper. I'm just like... He kept telling everyone there, like, due to the problems with Haas, and it's like, motherfucker, what problem? I explode. You saw it. That's what Danny shared. He, of all the things to clip, he shared the exact moment where I exploded because I could not take it anymore. A week of trying to get through to this guy and understand what's going on. After all of this, we thinking everything's fine. He's making these constant vague claims about how my leadership and my psychology and this and that, and we don't fucking know why. And I'm just like, dude, clearly this is a personal issue you have toward me that you can't rationally communicate to anyone else. Instead of jumping in this meeting and trying to, at your last ditch effort, convince all of leadership to turn against me, why don't you just fucking sort out your personal issues with me yourself? Because we tried to deal with this criticism for over a week. I'm exhausted. I came back from Russia on a 30-hour flight. The first thing I did was get on that. We've tried so hard to intuit what your problem is. You're not being transparent about what the real fucking problem is. He's not telling us what he's thinking and what he's feeling. He's just being very vague. It's just the vagueness was killing me. It's like, well, because of Hawes's, because of his personality issues and psychological issues. It's like, but what are you talking about, man? I feel like this is something that's convincing to an infrared viewer who's been watching me for years, because, like, am I a crazy guy? Of course, on infrared, I'm crazy. Like, I am. But I don't feel like I'm that crazy when it comes to party work. I really don't, all right? What he was saying was very vague, and it just sounded like something...
He's, like, publicly talking about how he has to take a dump, so he's gonna be late for the meeting, or he's talking about like fat people at the gym, like on the political. He's pretty clearly crazy off of the stream as well.
School friend on me. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Stop wasting everyone's time here. We're trying to get work done, and nobody signed up for this meeting where you're just going to have a theatrical performance that you're going to resign.
But yeah, I don't know, guys. I think I've seen enough for tonight. Wow, that was something. Pretty insane. I think more or less from the beginning I predicted something like this would happen. We'll see if it's the last. We'll see if this is the last major group of people to leave. It seems like it might be, but I do not think the organization will last forever. I highly doubt that. BE stream? Yeah, what is he streaming about? He said he was doing some secret stream or something, right? But yeah, I'm going to look more into Ali Hamoud a little bit. And yeah, we'll see what comes out of it, but... Oh, someone just told me the infrared Haas server was talking about me. So I guess they're not going to let me in, I assume. Oh, they did let me in! They did let me in. I would love to see what they're actually talking about. Oh, he did. John did a virtual video too. So they're talking about me. Oh, that's great. That's super funny. All right. Let's lock into the Discord. The infrared Discord, and let's see what's going on in there. They're excited that Hawes's drama defense stream got 1,000 views. Oh, that's hilarious. Bree deleted her account. Okay, so one of the resigners deleted their Twitter account, probably for being harassed, I'd assume. Kayla. And yes, I'm part of the Destiny Discord. I apologize. I despise Destiny. I fucking hate Destiny. I'm just in the Destiny Discord because I was looking for more of Vosh's disgusting comments that he has left in there in the past. But they did mention Chemical Minds. Some guy called Chemical Mind is trying to say the ACP is a CIA conspiracy because the person who registered the ACP website is called B. Gerber and was registered in Virginia. What is the dunk against this? It's so funny that instead of thinking about like putting the dots together and being like, holy shit, this is kind of like really suspicious and weird. It's just like, how can we dunk on this? He's like, what's the best way we can just completely dunk on this? Instead of like trying to think for themselves and actually analyze the situation. This is not the time. Now's not the time to talk with Chemical Mind. Oh. Crazy, dude. Crazy. Alright. Well, if anyone wants to donate, last chance. If we get 3 donos, we'll get to the goal, and we can play Community Hearts of Iron 4 game next weekend. If not, that's fine too. It was a fun stream. Very interesting. And this is probably not the last of the drama. I'm sure Infrared has got plenty more to say. Some of the people in there are crazy, not gonna lie. Yeah. I mean, the general chat seems fairly normal, but I feel like things probably get a lot weirder in, like, the Telegram. And also, you know, these people are basically, like, ordered to, like, keep the chill on, you know? But I think the Telegram seems to be more private, from what I can tell. But whatever. Got other shit to worry about. It was fun though. Can we get one more dono before we head out? Give me money.
In leadership, by doing this, who the fuck should anyone trust now? How is anyone supposed to, you know, he's insulted everyone. He's betrayed the entire Politburo, everyone, because like, fuck, he's hurt trust in leadership. You guys trust me no matter what. That's true. This movement predated the ACP.
You guys trust me no matter what.
Has he helped in undermining a party cult of personality
it's like a
by
drug.
shaking
I
everyone's
just can't
trust
stop
and
watching.
confidence in the fucking leadership in general as a
I
collective?
feel myself getting drawn back into this.
No, he's reinforced everyone's trust in me.
Has he? What?
If he had such a problem with a cult of personality, you'd think he would just prove to be a fucking capable leader in the party, in the Politburo. I would be labeled a wreck.
MWM is where the reactionaries spill over and argue about the place of gay people. Interesting. Because Midwestern Marx used to be like the more moderate MAGA communist like wing, and then Infrared and Jackson Hinkle were like the more right wing kind of. But I guess Infrared has ramped up the security, and that's interesting that it's the same name. So they just act different depending on which chat they're in. They turn on and off the bigotry.
Anonymous, thank you, brother. I have a lot of people to thank.
You've missed a lot, Lamau Setung. You've missed quite a lot. I was actually about to end the stream.
We know that the correct proletarian line can only be informed by practice.
I'm seeing if Infrared just has anything else interesting.
I
to
agree,
say.
right? That's the whole point. So what are you going to practically do? You're going to fucking try to destroy the ACP by doxing me and doing all this? Okay, well. But look, let's say John... I want to tell you about John's utopia. There was an age where there was no ACP. Okay, John is saying, we need to destroy the ACP. We need to destroy Haas. Then the true communist movement will take shape. But John, there was already a period of time in which there was no Haas and there was no ACP. It's called literally all fucking American history before 2021. So your utopia is 2020. When is it?
Infrared.
Why didn't you?
Pick one. Well, I mean, Infrared is pretty interesting. He can be pretty damn interesting. I mean, who could forget two holes theory? Who could forget pee from your butt theory? He's got some interesting ideas. Yeah, the full VOD of all my live streams is uploaded directly to my channel. The full VOD. It uploads automatically when I stop streaming.
Call it that. Will anyone listen to Reason? Not you guys, but our haters and our ops.
Well, yeah, I know Carlos Garrido is a transphobe. I was watching a stream and he started going about like teaching trans ideology in schools and stuff. So, and Eddie said nothing. It's like, it's such a non-issue.
What's step 2 after destroying us? That's what I'm not curious about your motivations for wanting to destroy us. I don't care. I'm curious about what step 2 is. If you're a communist in America, destroy ACP, destroy Haas, destroy Jackson, destroy us, bury us, kill us all. What then? What's step 2? What actually is step 2? What do you plan on doing after? Are you going to organize? Look, let me be full disclosure. Like, we are all very young in leadership and in the rank and file, with few exceptions. And the precedent, let me just be clear about something, all right? The precedent for successfully being able to establish a communist party and a communist organization is very, very limited in the social media age we live in. It's very limited. The parties that have managed to do it, like the PSL, for example, they got $12 million from Roy Singham. But granted, I'll grant them, I know it's not easy to form a collective, but they've existed for decades. All the other alternatives have decades on us. We are the new generation doing this. We are the new generation trying to test how to form a collective organization and a party from scratch, basically. And it's not fucking easy, and I'm not saying we're perfect. I'm just saying, like, all the challenges we face, any other party that's starting fresh would have to face too. And I challenge any of our opponents to test their ability to weather those challenges and storms. A lot of, step 1 was always like, well, we're irrelevant and no one cares about us. That challenge we overcame by getting the social media thing locked down, right? Stalin, appreciate you, man.
You're still pretty irrelevant in the grand scheme of things.
So we weathered that storm. Being able to come to an agreement between people who have different points of view, that's another storm we weathered. The sectarianism thing, we got past that hurdle right away. Because how? The merger of Infrared with Midwestern Marks wasn't easy. It took many, many, many months. But we did it. And we did it on a bigger scale. We also thought we did it with Danny, who came from PSL, but Danny was one of the people who fell through the cracks, I guess. But in any case, our party, people who come from diverse perspectives, not just Infrared, that wasn't easy to do. Wasn't easy to do. And the other hurdle was praxis. What can we do? How do we organize people? We have passed so many hurdles so quickly, so successfully, so seamlessly.
Yeah.
Right?
Whatever. All right. I think that was pretty enlightening. Thanks for coming, everyone. Yeah, pretty much exactly what I expected would happen to ACP. Thank you for the contributions and the useful information that many of you have given me about this situation and these organizations. And I will definitely look a little bit more into this stuff. But for now, I'm going to head out. So thanks again for hanging out. Thank you for the donations. We didn't reach the goal this time, but we'll give it another shot next time.